Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the one, the only, Dion Green.
Baby, boys and girls, children of all ages. I tell you right now, if you wanna get out there and protest some shit, we need to protest the reason why my girl Scarlet Witch didn't show me her titties.
That's a question I've asked myself every day this week, so you're not alone, my friend. That man chuckling in the background is the last standing still, and Big Rig Nick Utam.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get another deep fakes or the Fappening Part 3 or 4 or something, and your wish will come true. It's 2020. It's a wild card year. Anything can happen.
The year of the nut.
And finally, American Ramrod Kendo Slice.
Just cancel it all.
Okay, so oh, there we go. So now, folks, a little clarification. Today's stream is titled Movies You Can't Make Today. And a lot of people are under the guise of, you can't make this movie because it's so perfect and stuff like that. But there's a new list. After last week's Gone with the Wind controversy, see, this is what we talk about when we say you give them an inch, they take a mile. There's a new list from Variety with 10 more problematic films that need a trigger warning at the beginning of their film. So it's going to be one of those shows tonight. So be prepared to listen to Dion scream a lot, for us to question what logic is, and basically just, have a good show, but also lampoon the fuck out of society. So, first off, we're going to start our shows like we always do with a very big special thank you and shout out to our newest patron, Austin Moore. He joined at the top tier level. So thank you, Austin, for your super generous tier. And I'd also like to thank and welcome our new friend Carl Stodham. I hope I'm saying your last name right. If I am not, message me on Twitter or Patreon and let me know how I'm saying it. And then we also have our friend MH, just in case we didn't give him a shout out last week. I'm pretty sure we did. We usually do double. There's a little overlap each time. So I want to thank those newest patrons. We hope you guys enjoy what's over there. Kendo and the boys and I are getting together on Monday. We're going to have a meeting and we're going to figure out some stuff. And then we're going to also be trying to pump out some more stuff for around the 4th of July, a little patriotic thing here and there and some other stuff. And the reason we haven't been doing our wrestling content as much is, let's be honest, there's really not much going on in the world of wrestling. So we'll be back. Don't worry about it. But that's the update on Patreon. So tonight I wanted to start the show a little different than we normally do. Normally we just jump right into the topics, or sometimes we have some subtopics. But today I want to ask you guys a question, and I want everyone in the chat to answer it throughout the night, and let's see who can come up with the best answer. So last night, Jesse and I did a very drunk stream of X-Men Dark Phoenix, and I've been in this X-Men kick for the last, couple of years. Dion, you know this.
Absolutely.
And so today's question I want to present to you guys is, if you were a mutant and you had the ability to get rid of your powers and live a normal life, would you? So folks in the chat, you guys can answer that throughout the night. Give us your answers, your reasoning. But Dion, starting with you, if you were a mutant that had a power like a beast situation, where you were transformed, you mutated, and you looked differently, and you couldn't switch it off like he does in the movies, if somebody came up with a mutant gene, cleanser, would you go through with the process, or would you probably be a mutant?
God damn, man, that's tough. If it's a beast situation, I'd probably get I'd probably go to being human. It's tough to, because even there are a lot of mutants I know, obviously, in Ultimate I think he and Storm were together. I think they even alluded it in the 616 universe that they may have had a thing. But yeah, if I'm like Beast or what's that dude's name, fucking Gravel or whatever, yeah, I think I get my mutant genes suppressed so I can at least fucking get into a position where I can get some tail, because being because looking like fucking Alf would get real tiring real fucking fast. I want to be able to hug my lady without worrying about snapping her fucking spine.
Nick, what about you? Same question.
I mean, Alf does love pussy, so you're fine there. No, if it's a beast situation, yeah, I'm taking the mutant gene. But I remember there was like one guy. I think his name was like not Da Vinci. It was like Darwin or whatever. Like one of the movies or something. Like he would. It seems like he would evolve as soon as like a situation would come up or something, or he'd change in some way. If I were him or even Wolverine or whatever, I think I'd be okay with it and just kind of deal with it. But if it was a beast situation, yeah, I'm taking that. Like it's like, give me the shot now.
Yeah.
What about you, Kendo?
Yeah, it definitely kind of depends on the power or the mutant power, I guess, that I would have. Like, say I was like Nightcrawler, I would totally just like flash in and out of a bunch of like bank vaults and steal a shitload of money. Then I'd take it and be like, all right, make me normal. I'm rich. I can just live my life just pounding escorts and gambling.
Well,
and playing golf and playing golf.
And playing golf.
I'm gonna go to jail. Oh wait, I'm fucking rich now. No, I'm not.
Yep.
I took a trip to Zurich, bitch.
Yeah, because I mean, how likely are they going to be able to like prove that? Because some bank manager's going to be like, "Oh, all the money in our vault's gone. What happened?" Well, some guy just magically appeared in here and disappeared. Right. Okay, so you stole it yourself, bank manager. You're going to jail. Great.
Well, just remember, Nightcrawler had to see where he was teleporting, so make sure you don't get stuck in the fucking like vault door. Look like fucking Han Solo with a tail.
just morphing there.
Teleport back out.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
Yeah. Teleport to the backstage area of the strip club. Hey. You like my tail?
There is no sex in the champagne room. There is no sex in the champagne room.
Thank you, Chris Rock.
There is no sex in the champagne room.
Oh man, I remember that video. I fucking loved it.
Dude, so goddamn funny. See, I think it would be better if you have teleportation, you want to have the one that Hayden Christensen had
in Jumper.
Jumper, yeah, because you can just look at a picture of a vault, like, okay, I'm gonna, I got the inside picture from fucking the World Bank in Zurich. Let me go do it, because then you don't have to like be in a line of sight. Nightcrawler, just to go, full nerd in this bitch. That's a tricky one. You gotta wait till like the door opens and you can zoom in, zoom out. Like, yo, bitch, open the door, and then teleport out or something. But
yeah, definitely. I rewatched Jumper recently, and I was like, man, it's a crazy movie. And
it wasn't all that bad, but it was. Samuel Jackson with blonde hair just makes me uncomfortable.
No. It wasn't blonde. It was silver.
God, yeah. That's even worse. That's worse
yeah,
than my memory.
He was like an old Cisco. all I got was a damn thong song.
He's what happens when that thong song money runs out. He starts hunting mutants.
Shit got weird.
He's like, fuck, man. She ain't meet me on the beach no more. I'm fucking 50. Where you at, Hayden? Where you at?
Actually, there were supposed to be like 4 parts to that movie. There were supposed to be like various jumpers, and they were gonna make it into this whole thing and stuff. So
it's supposed to be the next like Hayden Christensen led franchise. I will admit that the one when he first catches him and he's just like, only God should have this power. That was a cool moment. I was like, God damn, this dude's fucking crazy. Obviously, silver hair showed us that he's already crazy, but damn. He got he's over here dropping Samuel Jackson lines. It would be funny too if like he got caught. Hayden Christensen's like, oh, anybody ever tell you look like Samuel Jackson?
No, motherfucker.
I was in True Hill.
Oh man, I was in Kid Man's Valentine. I swear.
I did music with Will Smith. Fuck you.
Tarantino knows my name.
Jump now, bitch. Jump me back to 2000.
Either jump me to 2019 or jump me to 2021. All right, none of this 2020 bullshit. Get me the fuck out of here.
So, let's see. Yeah, I would answer with, if I had one of the physical mutations, I'd probably warp back to myself. So if I was like a Wolverine or Cyclops, I think if I was Cyclops too, I would actually get rid of that power, because all he can do is shoot the optic blast. He doesn't have super strength or anything like that.
Now remember, his particular instance is he has a brain injury. So technically you could say you want Cyclops' power without his injury. So, you'd be able to control it. Remember, because he was in a plane crash or some shit, and that's why he can't control it or whatever.
Oh, really?
But yeah. So technically you could keep Cyclops' powers. He just, got to learn how to drive.
And you're always seeing red all the fucking time.
That's the part that would, that's the thing that drives me crazy. I don't know. He would still have to only be seeing red, right? I'd imagine. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so technically you could keep suck up his power. I got a question since we talk about mutant powers. If you could have one mutant power not limited to what we know about X-Men, what would you have? Jeff, starting with you.
Oh, a one mutant power not limited to X-Men. So it's just another derivative of superpower. So I'm gonna try to pick something like, because a lot of the X-Men characters do have really lame powers. Like,
Right. So the only reason I would say it's different from superpowers, like superpower, like literally you can pick anything. Mutant power, typically they're limited to like what their body can handle. So like even if someone's got some crazy ass teleportation, like it's line of sight or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So so mutant powers, so it's gotta be something great, but it can't be like oh I can lift the planets. Like yo man, you got a human body, you can't be lifting planets and shit. That's not how that works.
Well, I would go with Wolverine's healing factor. I just would like that power. I think that's something where it's like all positive.
Right.
Because his other issues are, oh, this person's dead or I'm upset or I've been experimented on, but his mutant healing factor that we all like, he's been around.
Fuck, I've been experimented on.
I don't know. I do like that is all of his skeletons covered in adamantium, and he like even though he weighs 1,000,000 pounds, like he's still bulletproof. So I don't know. That's pretty fun aspect. I don't know. Yeah, I think Wolverine's kind of got it. I mean, maybe add a little bit of flying or like something like that to it, or teleporting or whatever, and then that could be a way to go.
What about you, Nick? Speaking of which, what would you have your mutant powers?
Ooh, shoot. Could I pick time travel? Would that be a thing? Could I do that? Is that acceptable? No. Okay.
No. Now, if you were to be like super speed, like but that's the speed force. So yeah, time travel is one of those things where it kind of is difference between superpower and mutant ability.
Okay.
So,
All right.
pick something else. Denied.
Damn it. Shit. I don't know. I like that one dude who can just kind of evolve as the situation changes. I think that would be interesting. Like if I'm getting shot, I can turn my body into metal or something. Or if I'm underwater, I grow lungs or something like that.
I think that's Kevin Bacon's powers in real life.
Is that why he's everywhere at all times? Like
exactly.
Jesus?
That's why he knows he's no more than 6 people away from you. That's his power.
Yeah, we discovered that one Patreon night.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like an hour and a half.
It's real.
How far can we get from Kevin Bacon?
Fuck, the most we got is 3. Okay, Kendo, what about you?
I'd probably go with super speed, and then I'd just go play in the NFL for a few years, make a shitload of money, get CTE, and call it a career.
You laugh, but if somebody could grant me a series, like a set of superpowers, I'd pick Superman's powers, and I would become,
wait, hold on. Here's a superpower I want. Can I get 10 seasons of a TV show and 5 movies?
So essentially, you're Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. That's your mutant power. I just want to be
That's what it is.
I want to be a white dude on a very successful but semi good show.
Yeah,
constantly.
Yes. But then I want 4 or 5 movies preceding that show to keep it going for a little bit longer.
Right. No, that's smart.
Yeah. This is like up the fan base to make more money. So.
Exactly. No, that's chess, not checkers, man.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I always like thinking about that shit, especially with how horrible the X-Men movies are. Like it's just outside conversation is much better than those actual fucking movies. Outside of 1 and 2, the Wolverine. I think that's it.
What, for X-Men movies that you like?
That are good.
I think Days of Future Past is great.
Oh yeah. Days of Future Past is great for sure. I think that's in 1-2 territory.
I did really love Logan. Logan I thought was awesome.
Logan was great. I did forget about Logan.
Yeah, Logan was awesome. But yeah, I do agree with you. The majority of them are just kind of like, what are they doing?
The motherfucker who did Rush Hour did an X-Men movie. Let that fucking sink in.
Oh God. Well, I mean, look at the Mission Impossible movies. The worst one is done by John Woo.
That's true.
That's
true. That motherfucker loves slow motion. And it's funny too because. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you brought this. That's a good way to start tonight's show. I think it was fun.
Yeah, man. I try. I keep y'all on your toes, America.
Yeah, that's why I always keep a surprise element to the show each week for you guys, where I ask you some question, so I can be like, catch you off guard type of thing. Yeah. So before we go any deeper, I will say that we want to make an official announcement because the weird thing is I keep forgetting that our show is not only on YouTube, but it is on all the podcast streaming services. So some people that listen to the show in theory don't even know that we're on YouTube or don't listen to us on YouTube. So we have to make this announcement here. But Star Wars Celebration has officially been canceled this week. So I know there's been a lot of people, a lot of fans wanted to meet us, come hang out. We had people from the UK that were going to come over and different parts of the world, just like they were last year. People say, well, why would you go to Celebration? You hate Star Wars. It's not really about going to Celebration. It's about meeting up with people. It's just kind of an impetus. It's like, oh, we can have these meetups and people can come hang out on top of that. So that's officially canceled. But it's looking like Star Trek Las Vegas is going to be the big Fandom Menace meetup because I'll be there. Jesse will be there. Gary from Nerd Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Anna, that Star Wars girl. I believe Mecha Random's trying to show up. The Midnight's Edge crew, not just Tom and Rob, possibly Andre. So it's looking like it's going to be this huge, giant Fandom Menace. It's like a preview for the Fandom Menace convention thing we're all working on behind the scenes. So if you can't, make it to that one, then wait till next year. But if you're bummed out about Celebration and you were looking for something to do, December was it 9th through the 13th or something is going to be Star Trek Las Vegas, and we'll all be there. Not every day at the con or anything like that. We'll have a big meetup. We're trying to work out a location, so it's all TBD right now with everything. Everything's tentative, but we're going 100%. So
I'm gonna try to grab me a green bitch.
Ooh. Nick, you do not show any discrimination with your lovemaking.
No, I do not, sir. No, I do not. I love and hate everybody equally.
Yeah, that is a good way to look at that. Oh my God! Real quick, Blue Watcher says X-Men turns 20 next month. I remember riding my bike to go see that.
Oh my
movie.
God! Thanks for making us feel old.
Holy shit! We were in what, 5th grade when that came out, Jay?
5th going into 6th grade. Yeah, we had just completed 5th grade that year.
Damn.
Next week will be the 20th anniversary, Dion, of actually next week's show will be the 20th anniversary of my first wrestling pay-per-view I ever saw live, King of the Ring 2000. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, the year 2000 was a very kind year to all of us. It was really the last year of innocence. I know we'll get into that next week maybe, but it was the last, obviously 9/11 happened in 2001.
Oh, shit. Wow. Yeah, this was my transition into high school.
Damn.
I think. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Strange year.
So tonight, sorry, Kendo, I didn't want to cut you off. What were you saying?
No, I was just reminiscing. I was in high school. 2000 was a good year, I think.
So this week, we're going to talk about another thing in the vein of Gone with the Wind, because there's a lot of dumb stupidity going on in entertainment. We're getting to this point where everyone is overly sensitive. Oh, we have to censor this. We have to put out warnings, trigger warnings. Those are dumb shit.
Jeff, I bought a dozen Aunt Jemima bottles and a dozen packs of Uncle Ben's rice. Okay, I'm ready for this fucking eBay fiasco that might happen here at the end of the year. Okay, I'm selling bags of bottles for $200 a piece. Anybody wants one?
I wasn't even thinking of that. I was going to talk about this Variety article in a minute, but let's talk about that quickly. Since last week we talked about this, it's funny too because we're in this whole BLM movement. We're trying to bring up, bring light to these injustices, but at the same time, you're wiping out history for Black people, like Hattie McDaniel. Oh, her movie's now got an asterisk and a fucking disclaimer at the front of the movie, so they have to take it away because it's so triggering. And now you got Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben, which has been a staple of this the shelf. Who they've gone and they've evolved the depiction of Aunt Jemima. We're not going to go back and show the old ones, but I'll show the new one. When I look at Aunt Jemima.
Please tell me Halle Berry.
She looks like nothing but just like somebody's aunt. Nothing special. That'd be great. But I look at the current Aunt Jemima logo, and I've never once thought anything bad about it. It's just a black lady in a white shirt. Maybe historically, sure. Maybe there were different representations.
Go watch the Ghost World. Changed in I think it was like the 80s. They changed it to get away from that the house slave. The house slave imagery, and they were like, "Yo, we have, we'll keep calling it Aunt Jemima, and then it'll be, it'll be where we're, it's a product with a black mascot, and they specifically made it to get away from that slavery imagery. The same thing with Uncle Ben's. It was more about, hey, it's not, Amos and Andy looking crazy ass shit. It's a black dude who's a mascot for this rice that's specifically from New Orleans. I think it's supposed to be the brand, and it's, hey, we're proud to have these black mascots for our products, and now it's like, oh well, yeah, we're gonna change it now. It's like, god damn. Like of all the shit to change, I'm all down for tearing down fucking, monuments to fucking rebellious soldiers, but I'm like, god damn, they changed it specifically to get away from that shit. Come on.
I'm not cool with tearing down anything. I think people need to, if you have an issue with a statue, you need to take the democratic approach and you vote and you go out and you petition, and then you can vote for it that way. I mean,
Right.
they were going to go for a Winston Churchill memorial last weekend. What the fuck? There's no limit to these people, so that's why I don't buy into that shit.
Well, see, my personal feeling about it is that we kind of, I think we should keep those statues in there so we know who the assholes are. And we always kind of be like, okay, that's an asshole, and we know what that is, instead of taking down all these things and just chucking them into the river. It's kind of like you're going to forget, and things, history might repeat itself. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not make
History
like
is not
He's
a
great
fun, clean, happy thing.
no, it's not.
It's littered with horrible shit that's taken place, ever since we walked out of the caves. So you can't sanitize it all. I mean, if you sanitize it all, then what do you have? It's like the history of humans. We all love each other all the time and everything's been great. No, that's definitely not it. How are you supposed to learn from the past and not repeat the same mistakes if you get rid of all the indications of said mistakes?
Yeah, honesty is definitely
That's where I
the
stand.
best policy. Definitely honesty. But again, don't be rose-coloring nostalgic about stuff either. It's like, oh yeah, like there's a difference between remembering the past and then being like, yeah, maybe that's not the shit we want to make monuments towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't even going to mention this because I completely forgot because, after Jesse's stream last night, it has not been a nice 12-hour period for me. But this was so dumb. This is like, again, you give them an inch, they take a mile. Everything's like the Cream of Wheat guy, like Juan R says, is going to be canceled next. Then it's going to be what other pieces of food products have a black spokes character or whatever you call it, Like maybe they're going to say Mrs. Butterworth is too ethnically whatever, so they're going to change her design next. She's offensive. Like Mrs. Butterworth is an anthropomorphic syrup bottle. What are you?
Yeah, it is.
It's like back in the day when you're finding commies in your cornflakes. We're looking for everything that's racist.
Right.
All of a sudden, look at Back to the Future is going to be removed because of the fucking part where the Biff and his gang put Marty in the trunk and they call the guy. Well, I'm not going to say it on air because it's a really stupid period we live in right now. But you know what I'm
Well,
going.
also that there might be a trigger. There might be a trigger warning for the beginning of Back to the Future 1 because Marty affects Black history. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People were complaining about the Cocoa Krispies monkey. A monkey that likes to eat cereal is offensive in 2020.
I just watched a Toucan Sam commercial for fucking Fruit Loops and it looked like an acid trip. That was offensive to my eyes.
It's going to be the next big thing to get canceled.
Oh God!
It's gonna be honestly. It's gonna be The Simpsons, and they're gonna say the depiction of they're having yellow skin.
Good.
They were already jumping on about. They were already pissed off about Abu. And
let it.
And
let
then
that
what's
show
his name?
fucking die then, man.
Well, yeah,
God.
it definitely needs to die. But it's too old. But in terms of like, talking about it being offensive, like one, a lot of it was the point, and two, the dude Ari Shapoor, the dude that did Dread, he did a fucking video on his channel where he was like, oh well, this is. You could be a better example for Hindi Americans, and it was like, but it's like, motherfucker, it's the same reason why Robert Downey Jr. was blackface, and like that's the joke, like that's the point of him being there. They're not shitting on Indian people. That's the joke. That's how these stupid people see him. Like that. That's the point. They're not saying that Indian shop owners or Indian people who happen to own shops are dumb. That's the joke.
Yeah, that's a fucking joke. I never found that shit offensive ever. I'm just like, why are you affecting like he's been on the show since day one, and you're removing him because a white guy does his voice? Like he's funny. It's a funny thing that that's going on. It's okay. There's never been a call for it or anything. Like, I mean, it's not a big deal, man. It's a cartoon character.
They're gonna be flipping out whenever they put Pulp Fiction or something on in the movies. It's gonna be like, oh fuck, well we got to have a trigger warning before Pulp Fiction because da da da. It's like, come the fuck on.
Well, the thing that's going to happen is then I'm going to start calling for, I want trigger warnings in front of really shitty movies. You know, like, again, you pick the low-hanging fruit. I want a trigger warning for The Last Jedi. You're going to watch Luke Skywalker be bent over a fucking barrel by the criminal Ryan Johnson for 2 hours. I want that kind of trigger warning. Instead of this dumb, oh, this is a representative of this era. No, this shouldn't be the new standard, because then you're going to be, then people are going to look at the films with the warnings in front of them, and they're not going to watch them. This isn't TV. The only time I'm okay with getting a warning in front of a movie is this film has been modified to fit your screen and changed from the original represented aspect ratio. That's as far as I'm okay with putting a thing in the front of your film. Other than that, no, you deal with it. Like Jesse and I had a really, not long, but an interesting discussion the other day about putting, warning people of a sexually assault scene or whatever. And I said, all you should do is, and when you rate the movie rated R, when it says for scenes of violence, gore, drug use, you put it in there, and that's your responsibility as a consumer, because we have to, it's like we're trying to coddle everyone and keep them from shit. There's a point where it's like you need to be responsible.
No, exactly. People need to be responsible and research this stuff themselves and figure it out and consume what they want and, vote with their dollar and everything like that. This idea of sanitizing stuff and rubbing out history and things like that is just a bad idea all around.
Well, and then again, it's like, you have to talk about and fucking acknowledge the point of why that's in the movie. Now, if a movie is being commentary of something, if the story is supposed to be a commentary of an event or a cultural thing, then it's important to see it as the way that the director and the writers and all these people put it in there. Like, are we gonna start having to have alterations and trigger warnings for documentaries too? Like, some of that shit isn't like, that's important why it's in the film. Even if it's like a time capsule, the movie's based in the fucking 70s. Like, are we gonna fucking change important parts of a story just because little Timmy and his mom are too fucking stupid to research what the movie's about? Like, that's the part that I'm fucking terrified of. Yes. If something's bad, you let it be seen, and then whoever made the movie, suffer consequences. Then don't retroactively go back because, oh, this is what we're scared of, and this is very upsetting now. But 2 years ago it wasn't. It's like, come on, guys. Like, what the fuck?
Well, Nick, tonight's going to be a night where I'm going to ask, you're going to be our Dion. You're going to be our guy, dropping the truth. No, because seriously, there's a specific section of the show, this list I'm looking at, and you and I have had this discussion before. We've actually talked about it publicly on the channel, so it's not like I'm going to be putting you on the spot for anything. But we're talking about these movies that you can't make anymore. This list from Variety, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom pops up, and we'll get into that officially in a minute. But, it's just going to be the kind of show where the 2020 episodes of World Class Bullshitters should be looked at like we're documenting the decline of sanity in many ways, because each week we're finding dumber and dumber topics to talk about, not because we're lazy, it's because we can't believe that this is actually real life. Like Jessie said to me the other night, she goes, we're living in one of those dystopian futures they used to write about back in the day. It's as stupid and crazy as it could possibly be. Yeah, we don't have this crazy whatever where we have armed soldiers on each corner, but we're getting to a point where the wrong think will cancel you from existing, aka being able to make a living. So this is 1984. It just took until 2020. So it's just a really messed up situation. And like I said, tonight we're gonna be talking about that in a minute. Is there anything you guys would like to add about the Aunt Jemima Uncle Ben situation being, because I think this is I understand the implications of where it came from. I'm not trying to act like, oh, she's always been a positively represented X, Y, and Z. But this is like, oh, we want to change our image. To me, this is like getting a new haircut or trying out new makeup or getting a new suit or just putting on a new coat of paint, for Kendo knows where I was almost going with that. With a car or a house. It's a remake, it's a revamp, and sometimes it's okay to revamp things in a certain way. It's like, well, Aunt Jemima is no longer going to be a house slave. She's just going to be a random black lady. And this is fine. This, to me, is not a negative stereotype. Dion, have you ever looked at Aunt Jemima, this version, and gone, that's offensive?
Fuck no.
Uncle Ben is just an old man in a suit.
Yeah. No. Actually, there's
rice.
There is one food item I'm really offended by. It's salt and pepper. Can we have them just mixed together and just, unify them and put them in one?
I don't want no segregation in my condiments, brother.
No, I don't. I'm real tired of it, and it's been years. Can we just put them together and just be happy already, please? God damn it.
I'm waiting for crackers to be canceled. Like every time you say cheese and crackers, it'd be cheese and beep. So you can't I'm mildly offended. So
cheese. We're gonna go to the British slang of everything. Cheese and biscuits. It's just gonna be that now.
What are those crumbly, thin, wafery things? Oh, cracker. Sorry, can't say that word anymore.
Yeah.
So the funny thing
There's
is,
baked flour squares.
baked flour squares. That's how I'm going to describe them from now on, Kendo. And if I'm ever with you and I say,
dude, that sounds like some dystopian, like post-apocalyptic shit. Can I get those baked flour squares, please? Because I found some individual up cheese slices, and I'm really hungry right now.
Dude, the baked flour squares are the type of shit you'd find in The Last of Us 2. It's like, oh, between killing the only guy in the game and you and your whatever ambiguous girlfriend, oh, we have our square flour thing, so we're okay. We're gonna eat. We're gonna live.
Yeah.
Now, people in the chat right here, our friend Nerdigan says Aunt Jemima was the first black female millionaire. Canceling Aunt Jemima is racist. It's funny how these people are taking up this cause. They think they're being, humanitarians. They're so invested, but they're not taking a survey of the land. They're the problem.
They're invested in like the lowest, easiest thing to get rid of. It seems like it's like, yeah, we're moving that goalpost. It's like you moved it like 3 centimeters with getting Aunt Jemima off the shelves. Like, calm down.
Hey, City of Solitude, could you do me a favor and shoot some of those documents to worldclassbs@mail.com? Not even going to fight about, anything. I'm interested in reading. It's just coming from a genuine point of curiosity. If you could shoot those over to us, that'd be great, because I'd like to see them. Classified documents are always fun to read.
Oh, yeah, man.
Remember a couple years ago when we found out the code or whatever the password to the big weaponry was, because I don't know what words are going to trigger YouTube. It was like password was the password or something. Or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's stupid. I'm glad people in the chat are, aware of the stupidity and against it. This is one of those times where I'm like, folks, make up your own mind about everything. If you like a movie, if you don't want to support it, but this is one of those things where it's like, people just wake up. This is stupid. Where does it end? Seriously, last week I kept screaming, where does it end? I thought it ended with a movie. Now it's fucking pancake syrup and minute rice. Up next, it's going to be, I don't know, the Oprah Winfrey Network. And then,
oh my God.
The thing. It's funny how hypocritical, though, this movement is, because Jimmy Kimmel, his dumbass, was on blackface on the Man Show. Countless
dude, he had so much fucked up stuff on the Man Show.
Dude. So yeah.
Never,
I'm surprised anybody has
shit.
not gone into his past yet and pulled up shit from the Man Show.
Well, I'm sure he had some bullshit on his show.
Jimmy Kimmel gets a pass though, because he's a frontline, SJW, always, going out of his way to parrot and scream the talking points of the far left. So he's safe. He's okay.
That's the thing, is that's 100% correct. That is why Jimmy Kimmel will become the voice of the fucking moral voice of popular culture. One, he's in the pocket of Disney. ABC is owned by Disney, so this isn't me with some crazy conspiracy theory. But yeah, he has the right think. So no matter what he's done, here's the picture of him from the Man Show, episode 9 of season 3, Oprah Jimfrey. I remember because he put out like one of those Hostess cupcakes. Because look, the thing is, I don't find the joke offensive. I don't find any of this. I think it's a joke. But the point is, it's a double standard.
If anybody has Man Show DVDs or whatever, like on a hard drive somewhere, start tweeting this shit out, like little clips of him to the internet, and see what happens.
Nothing.
Can we get
nothing will happen.
Canceled?
The thing is, it isn't the only time he's done it either. I think somebody in the chat said he did Karl Malone.
He did Karl Malone all the time.
Here he is, his fucking Karl Malone. And the thing is, I don't have an issue with any of this shit. It's meant to be funny. That's fine.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, 100% funny. But I'm just like, these days the internet would just have a shit fit if they saw it now. I think they just go crazy and cancel him or want him canceled.
I want him canceled because he's a fuck. I hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look at Nick. The second day I was out here after I moved here, we walked past his studio and there was a line for people going. I was like, fuck that show. I wish he would just leave. I don't want to wish anything bad, like health wise, on him. I wish he would just fucking Thanos snap him out of existence. I hate Jimmy Kimmel with a passion. I think he's the worst.
I've seen his beginning monologue now, and just seeing it, like hearing it without a laugh track or anybody clapping in the audience is so fucking sad. It's so because he's in front of some cameras and some lights in his house. I'm sure his family's there or whatever, and he's trying to be funny. It's just like, oh man, you're really trying, but you really suck. So I don't know.
So yeah, I just I wonder where it's going to end, folks. Like I said, there seems to be no limit to the craziness that is 2020. I mean, if it's not life-ending, world-ending viruses, it's we're going to basically politically correct ourselves out of existence. Which, political correctness is not a verb. Excuse me for ruining the parts of speech, but you get what I'm saying. We're going to be so concerned with being offensive that soon it'll be, well, life is offensive because people they breathe carbon monoxide, therefore it ruins the atmosphere, therefore it's good for the planet for you to kill yourself. Something crazy like that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm calling it right now. Bill Ted's song at the end of the movie makes everybody happy and cures the beer bug. I'm calling that right now. Probably.
It's yeah. I'm glad some of the people in the chat don't like Jimmy Kimmel either. I'm not just alone in this. He's a big problem for me.
I never liked him either. Something about him that's always like, speak up. Something about him that's always just the way he looks. It's not the way he looks. That he's got these weird, crazy eyes, and that's always been such a turn on. I could never watch his show, even when people thought it was good or whatever. Like I just couldn't do it. I'm like I can't with the crazy eyes, Jimmy. Can't.
Well, the thing is, that's why Jimmy Kimmel might be parodied in Wokebusters because I sat down today and I figured out the production schedule for Wokebusters and our SJW cards, and that's just he's gonna be a part of it because people are like, what do you do to fight back? Yes, you can make videos. Yes, you can bring it to people's attention, but humor always works the best because there's always a veneer of truth with the best jokes.
Are you gonna draw him in blackface?
I might draw him in blackface, and so he comes after you. Oh, you're racist, Jeff. I'm not white. Who the fuck are you?
Oh my god! I hope.
Some actual events that happened. Look it up.
Yeah. See, then you can put a disclaimer as a joke.
Put a little a joke disclaimer of these are based on actual events. Look it up.
Because I might even have another. Because you know how Stealing Solo starts with a movie theater far away or whatever. You might get offended. Fuck you, and that's how the book starts. Oh my god, I am so tired of Jimmy Kimmel.
I'll lend it to you for a minute. If you want to use, if you're offended, good. I'll
lend it for the book. Good, I might put it in the book. If you're offended, good.
Oh man.
So, folks, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and let everyone know we are live tonight. We have a smaller turnout, but a really passionate, ravenous fan base, and that's the important part. So, thank you to everyone who is here tonight. Obviously, we have our usual folks like our Dr. Coffin Nails and Channel Dad Brian Lee, which we always appreciate you guys. We don't take it for granted. We also have a lot of new people tonight, so I'd like to just thank everyone for joining us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yes, Breadman Productions is correct. Dion to Zack Snyder is Jeff to Jimmy Kimmel. Yes.
Oh, okay. It's like that.
And the fucked up part though is I was okay. I loved the Man Show, and I loved Win Ben Stein's money. I never had a problem with Jimmy Kimmel until he became a hypocrite.
Oh yeah. And also, Dion to Zack Snyder is me to Rob Zombie. Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear. Hey Kenda, who's your arch nemesis? Who's your celebrity arch nemesis?
I don't think we have enough time.
Oh shit!
I got a list.
Oh shit, dude! You're like Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison. Remember when he called him and said sorry, and he crossed the name off the list. And boy, am I glad I called that guy. That is your
Where's my lipstick?
That's one of the best parts of that movie. So let me address a couple of the super chats because right now, folks, you guys are commenting on this current situation, and I think it's very important. So we're going to do that, but then we are going to jump into tonight's main show. So we'd like you to stick around and like you to get excited because if you think this kind of stuff, this kind of craziness is ruining society, well, guess what? We have the next step where it's going to start ruining your favorite movies too. So first off, from our friend Matt G, he sends us a super chat sticker of a piece of cake. Matt, thank you very much. That looks delicious. Our friend Austin,
it better be vegan, goddammit,
dude. Fatburger
it better not be made with anything from Aunt Jemima. I will not racist shit.
Dude, we have
shit off my cakes.
Fatburger has vegan shakes advertised. I'm like, why would you go to Fatburger if you're a fucking vegan? It's called Fat Burger. You get fat from eating a fat burger. So like it's the most on the nose marketing, and that's why I like that place. One, it's delicious, and two, you know what you're getting. A lot of calories. So
how the hell do you make a vegan shake?
you just shake them until they are no more.
You use coconut milk? How the fuck should I?
Thing is, I'm not opposed to
You hit 'em
using
in the
like
head with a
coconut
brick.
milk in a shake or something. It's just, I'm gonna let you guys talk for a second. I got somebody blasting music outside, and I don't want a copyright strike. So talk about something for a second.
I mean,
Fucking
go figure that Nick goes straight for the coconut talk. I mean,
Listen, man,
shocking.
listen.
The Coconut Express over here.
Easy.
But yeah, I mean, seriously, vegan shake. It's like, I mean, if that doesn't scream buggy whip arms and cries at sunsets, I don't know what fucking.
But wait, hold on. Buggy
type
whip
of
arms
person.
and cries at sunsets? What the fuck is that? What does that even
Yeah, 'cause of all
mean?
the fucking soy.
Oh, okay, I'm about to say. All right.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you?
Soy hurt him. Soy hurt him.
Yeah. I'm gonna go have a vegan shake, and I won't be able to pick up the glass because I got these fucking skinny ass buggy whip arms, and I'm gonna cry at a sunset and talk about how sensitive I am, and I get laid. Well, I can tell you about 3 different reasons why, and you just listed them.
That's good shit. Oh my god.
Bitch. Don't cancel Kendo.
Never cancel Kendo.
Protect him at all costs.
Yes, exactly.
One half of the Coos Bros cannot go down.
No. Sorry about that. Yeah,
That's right.
On now. So let me get back to this. We had our friend Austin Moore who says, "Glad to be a part of the Patreon again. I certainly miss the extra stuff." And Austin Powers definitely wouldn't be made today because he's a womanizer, even though it's part of the damn joke. That is the joke. And again,
Yeah, it's a parody of James Bond.
Yeah, it is a great parody of James Bond. For as much
Yes,
as
it
like,
is.
I'm trying to think of a better, are there better James Bond parodies? Because I mean, they tried them in the '60s a bunch, but a lot of the James Bond stuff from back in the day was just inspired by, as opposed to, just straight up parodies and riffs. Maybe Get Smart.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that counts. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Get Smart might be. What was the Bill Cosby show? I think that's more of a parody of that show.
Oh, I Spy.
Yeah, I Spy. That's probably more I Spy.
Have you seen that movie with Eddie Murphy and Owen Wilson?
Yes.
Dude, I fucking love that goddamn movie. It is underrated. It got shed on unjustly. No, it's not that good, but it is semi-funny Eddie Murphy, and sometimes that's all you need.
What is the names he had for things are just like, what is it? Leafy bug.
Leafy Bug, yep. And then the part where they're getting into the party, and he just goes, "Hey, man, I'm with you." He goes, "No, I ain't never seen that dude before. Take him outside, shoot him in the ass." And they go, and they just nod and start kidding. He goes, I'm just playing. That's actually a funny part.
Yeah, that was a lot of funny
And
shit
then
there.
what was the one? Jellybird.
Jellybird, that's what it was. Jellybird.
I used to have a dream of putting jelly on my body and flying away like a bird. Jellybird.
Maybe I'll give that movie a shot because I've never seen it.
We gotta get drunk and watch it. Once you're inebriated, it's way funnier. Especially like when they're in the sewer and he's like, "Oh, I made $24 million last year." You made $24 million? 24.7.
Oh man.
And plus, like, even Eddie Murphy, that's probably the only movie anyone would ever believe that Owen Wilson could kick anybody's ass.
That's true.
Because
That's true.
that's literally the only movie that makes that plausible. Even though they have him do a kip up and it's clearly a stunt double because Owen Wilson can't do a kip up, I laugh at that part hard every fucking time. Just they couldn't show his face, so they just show some random dude doing a kip up, and it's like, bitch, we know Owen Wilson can't do no kip up with that skater boy haircut. Sit down somewhere.
Owen Wilson is just like barely in better shape than you, Dion. So, because the only reason I'm picking on you is I watched you once try to do a kip up for 10 minutes straight when you were drunk, and I'm like, "He's got it, you got it, dude," and you never had it. I'm sorry.
That's a bigger example of you being a damn good best friend by encouraging me to be my best, even when I'm drunk, fat, and failing at kip ups. You had my back, bro. Not a lot of people can say that. Owen Wilson can't say that. He tried to kill himself.
That's true.
Oh shit! No, that's true. That's true.
Damn.
Ouch.
Wow.
Kendo wins. Moving on. So up next, we had our friend TLJ Screwjob says, speaking of golf, according to Jeremy's video today, Scott Steiner is in The Last of Us 2, and he goes golfing with another character. gotta watch what
Shit,
Jeremy.
now I want to see
Fuck.
that.
I don't want to have to buy this
He's
game
banned
just
from
for
Twitter.
that.
What?
You're not. You like you were going to buy this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You know they say that all created equal, but you look at Last of Us 2 and you look at other games and you know that's just not true.
That's right.
See, usually when you play a game,
Justice Warrior freaks out there.
you got 50% chance of finishing the game. But now me, being a genetic freak, that game knows I'm not human. So I got
Try.
you don't even try percent chance.
I always like perchance chance that guy. Oh, if it wouldn't get us a copyright strike, I'd play it. And now the reason I didn't tell you this, guys, but yesterday Jessie's stream, her first stream, got taken down and deleted from YouTube for copyright reasons because she played her own video on her own stream.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
She had to go. Look, Anna was leaving. We were trying to get situated and do our next X-Men stream and, say our goodbyes and stuff. And so she's like, guys, I'll be back in a minute. Here's my review of The Rise of Skywalker. It's her own video. It's herself. It doesn't have anything in it that YouTube complained about the first time.
I went back and looked. I'm 3 or 4 minutes in before it struck it. No ads played during that time, so it's no one else's crap. And plus, usually you're supposed to get, if there's a content match, you're supposed to get an email and you're supposed to be able to see it on your channel, your content matches, and it's not there. I should have been notified because it's also my video. I should have been notified that my video is being used by someone.
We're going down shit.
Unauthorized.
The rats are getting out. We need to jump this shit.
Shit to you, the YouTube.
Don't
So-
you dare laugh, goddammit.
So, our friend Cadus82 says telekinesis or the ability to control time. So that is the mutant power that Cadus82 would like. Upon further review, I might like Jean Grey's powers because I would fuck with reality, but
Now we're talking Phoenix powers or just her regular ass?
regular because you got that introduces a whole new layer of stuff, and therefore I think it's almost unfair.
Right.
Stone Cold Jeremy says, speaking of superheroes, did you see that the Chaz has their own superheroes?
Those dumb motherfuckers.
Oh my god.
Like I said, comment of the year.
What do we got? Captain Communist and shit?
Yeah. We're against authoritarianism. Immediately sets up an authoritarian state.
Up next, we also have our friend Private Halo 117 who says, I have the Aunt Jemima cookie jar head appraised, was offered $5,000 for it by the appraiser. They were trying to take down the statue of Patton as well. See, you Private Halo, like I said with Winston Churchill last week, didn't they deface a Gandhi statue the other week, Jesse?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it gets, there's no limit.
Oh my god. It's jeez, like none of these people are fucking okay. Even the best ones aren't that fucking perfect. The worst ones, yeah, I get you want to take them down, but just fucking deal with it, man. Life ain't perfect. I'm sorry.
The true irony there is their peaceful protest defaced the statue of somebody that actually did peaceful protesting.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah, because Gandhi did sit-ins and didn't eat and shit. So yeah, they're defacing. They're not so peacefully protesting a peaceful protester.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't recall Gandhi ever firebombing a Wendy's.
I don't know. No.
Maybe a Carl's
groups.
Jr., but not.
Those are the assholes doing it.
They may have done it in his name, or we because somebody got their order wrong or something. I don't know.
Plus, Wendy's is underrated.
That's true. I'm mad at the British Empire subjecting my country. Quick, let's go set fire to everything. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Jeez.
Let's see. Up next, our friend Rob Brancier, excuse me. He says, any thoughts on Doomcock's video of the Disney sequel trilogy possibly getting the Legends retcon treatment via a force power? I haven't had a chance really to watch anything Doomcock's put out in a while. Everything's cool, but it's just been I haven't seen it. But I did go back. If you would like a recommendation, Rob, since you asked us, I would like to give you a recommendation. Check out Retro Blasting's video on Bespin Luke Skywalker. You never realized how in-depth Luke Skywalker's costuming was until you watch that video from Michael over at Retro Blasting. And the best part is, it's a fantastic video. Dion, I'm going to send it to you to watch. because
Okay.
you'll love it the most. But seriously, it's a 28-minute video, and he talks about like the history of the Luke Skywalker Bespin gear costume and the figures and shit. But then he talks about stuff that we didn't know. Like he actually figured out how many different versions of the suit are used on screen, the different cuts of the pants, the different kind of weight. It sounds weird to describe it to you, but it's so entertaining. Like he just has a way to take what someone considered dense information and present it in a great way. And it wasn't dense at all. It was just, I can't believe how quick it went. But seriously, I can't recommend it enough, folks. That
Dude,
after this
send it
stream
to me.
tonight, watch it. I gladly will. So we also have Infinite Wanderer who says, can I borrow you guys to make some supervillains? I need more villains for a superhero roleplay that may never run. I've got enough heroes. I just need more villains. Sure, Infinite Wanderer. Make us the best supervillains ever.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Would love to.
Give us enough time in 2020. I'm sure somebody will try to turn us into real life supervillains.
Yeah, give it time. We're only halfway through.
Can I? My superhero name or villain name is Truth Bomb.
I like that one. Call me Black Line. Don't fucking cross me, bitch.
We also have our friend Barney the Spaceosaurus Woke Reeks, who says Mother and Tales from the Hood 2 need trigger warnings. Yes, they do. Tales from the Hood
Yeah, they
2
do. For how
Yeah, they-
fucking terrible they are.
Yeah, they do.
Seriously.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, no, Tales from the Hood needs to have a trigger warning too, because of how way over the fucking top it is. Like, I mean, you could legitimately, and it's an argument I would love to fucking make, that if anything, that shit does way more goddamn damage than anything. You know, fucking randomly, shitting on biracial couples and fucking, encouraging people to get fucking brutalized in the name of protest and shitting on black politicians. Like, that shit is fucking weird as fuck.
Yeah, because we don't vote a certain way. You should be killed or something. Like,
Yeah.
I almost want to do a drunk watch along of that movie and point out how racist Rusty Cundiff is. To be the opposite side of all this shit, you want to attack anything. Like one day, like I said, they'll go after Bill and Ted because what he says to them after they hug each other. Everything. Nothing is safe. So yeah, one day I'd like to sit down and just rip that movie apart again. It's so dumb and it's so mean spirited and backwards. Like that movie is it's like the flip side of Songs of the South or something, or maybe even like an extreme like Birth of the Nation. It's that fucked up and racist, and it actually people that sacrifice themselves, their lives for the betterment of society, and it turns it into an allegory to say fuck the president or interracial dating's bad. That's what the whole movie exists for. I don't like Rusty Cundiff. Rusty Cundiff is like 3 steps below Jimmy Kimmel for me. I don't want to say he's my number 2 Zack Snyder. I just need to figure out there's got to be 2 other people I dislike. Maybe I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. But either way, they do need trigger warnings. Unironically, Spaceosaurus Woke Reeks. Logan Michael Anti-Funko Pop says, NECA revealed a Richard Simmons figure today because why not? Now it's time to do chug as many bottles of Aunt syrup as you can before it's too late. Pop gay.
Richard Simmons. I'd buy that shit. That's fucking ridiculous. I'd buy it.
But you know what's funny? We still can't get Axel Foley.
That's what
And you know what? That's racist. That's racist. That's racist, NECA. What the fuck you doing, bro? What the hell, man? Can't do a goddamn Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley. Come on.
Now, our friend El Gallo de Oro says, #MeToo is coming for the wrestling community. Shake my head.
What happened was actually kind of fucked up. So
What
that's
happened?
one of those instances. So David Starr, was another one of those dudes that were, I'm an ally, I'm a feminist ally, and this, that, and the other, shitting on Trump on Twitter, pro Bernie guy, da 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 da. Come to find out, he's been mentally abusive to every fucking girlfriend he's had, and he's probably sexually assaulted a bunch of them. So he got called out. One of his ex-girlfriends came out, showed like screenshots of his some of his texts and shit, and then he goes on this Twitter rant about trying to say that he's been a bad partner, but he's not, but he hasn't been assaulting people, this, that, and the other. The dude pays for an ad so he can say that he's not a fucking sexual predator. An ad on fucking Twitter, pays for that shit, and it's just, and then a lot of people are
Wait,
like,
did Twitter allow that ad?
yeah.
Twitter will not allow our channel to run ads because they say we're offensive and we don't reach their or go into their line of or fall in line with their views. How is that
I don't now. Honestly, I don't know if the ad originally gotten taken down. I don't know how long it was up. I just saw it the one time, so I don't know if it got taken down eventually. But they allowed that shit initially. 100% did.
We're just okay. Either way, and tonight, folks, on After Hours, we're actually going to keep the trend of some messed up shit going on. Danny Masterson has been accused of some sexual assault. So hide from that '70s show.
Is there a new one? Because he fucking got accused like 2 years ago too.
This week, 3 more women came out.
Jesus.
We're going to say that for After Hours, though.
Well, apparently, my favorite religious organization was involved as well. So
yeah. Well, like I said, because of YouTube's new change in policies, we'll save that for After Hours because they have no control over Patreon.
That's true.
Our friend George Forrest Jr. says Twitter mob will use this chance to cancel South Park. I hope
they've been trying to cancel themselves. They haven't been. They haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've been trying to cancel South Park for 22 years.
South Park's it's the greatest season ever.
It's gonna be nuts.
Oh, they've got plenty of material.
Saved by Sonic and South Park. Who the fucking thunk?
Our friend Greendale Forever says, you see that Last of Us 2 scene? Can't wait for the Funko Pop. Greendale Forever, I'm not following The Last of Us 2 outside of anything besides wanting to talk about on the channel. Our big video tomorrow is featuring, it's very Last of Us. It's all about Last of Us 2. So I think tomorrow will be the perfect day to get it out. People are going to be wanting to get the game, talking about it, X, Y, and Z. So be back tomorrow afternoon, probably about 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at the latest. And check it out. It goes to show the bias of Western game reviewers and how the politics of The Last of Us 2 are indicative of the problems that are wrong with every piece of entertainment that comes out of this side of the world. So be on the lookout for it. It's one that I'm really happy with. So check it back tomorrow. Scotsky02 says, we'll woke our species to death at this rate. Maybe for the best, Skotsky. Raphael Jumino says, Apu had the best line in the Simpsons movie. When people complain, he raises his prices to profit from crisis. He asks, why can't you just be happy for me?
Oh, man. Oh, these things happen.
Acid Blade 21 says, wasn't sure if you guys had heard about it, but the Japanese wrestler Hana Kinara had killed herself over Twitter backlash. She was a very beautiful woman. Acid Blade, I had heard about that.
Yeah,
did hear about
that. Yeah. I heard about that. Definitely, it was all over Twitter for a day. It was really sad to hear.
It's those kind of stories are really. Anytime somebody's bullied into doing that to themselves, it's really, really sad. No matter what they look like, but yeah, it just goes to show you that no matter how great you look, people will find a way to pick apart at you out of jealousy or just hatred, and some people fold over that. That's sad what happened to her. So, I'm not one of these. We need to revamp, cyberbullying, this, that, and the other. Just be decent to people. Be excellent, as I say. Don't be an asshole, because being an asshole has bigger ramifications than you think. So, I think everyone should take a look at that, no matter where you are. J Hando Four says, world class bullshitters. Jeff, the SJW crowds are just reaching now, insofar as Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben go. It's another sad example of them having to be offended at something, anything. It stinks. And I don't like it, J Hando 4. I don't care that people are offended. You know what? Let the market dictate if Aunt Jemima is not worthy of being on the shelf. Not a bunch of Karens or the mothers, the PMRC. Let me tell you a story real quick. The PMRC went up against Twisted Sister and Prince and all these people in Congress, and that's why you have the parental advisory label. If Tipper Gore had real shit to worry about, maybe society would be a lot different. So sometimes a lot of these Karens that complain about shit just have nothing to do. So let that just, treat this as a that and let it roll off your back. How many times did the Parent Television Council go after the WWF in the 90s for offensive Val Venus content or Kai and Tai? Well, it's the same storyline. Or anything from the Nation of Domination. Like, you know what? Just chill. Just chill and don't worry about it. If people don't want Aunt Jemima, they'll stop buying it. Then you look at the sales. Aunt Jemima is a staple of people's breakfast tables. It has been for, a century at this point? Over a century. So don't change something that everyone's fine with because of all of a sudden this outrage online. The market should dictate it.
Right. And,
man.
And don't get it confused. Like if something is truly bad, and that's what this is fucked up about, is this type of shit is gonna allow worse shit to continue. So now again, if it was her and fucking Amos and Andy blackface paint with the fat red lips and the white teeth with a fucking piece of watermelon or something on it, then obviously we need to talk about changing that type of shit. But when they specifically changed her to get away from that imagery, so they could have a mascot that people could be, proud of and be okay with, and then to get rid of it, then so you're forgetting about shit that's actually an issue. You're forgetting about the important shit that needs to be looked at and changed. When we're focusing on fucking the syrup bottle instead of actual shit, so people aren't going to be talking about and trying to change the things that need to be changed. They're fucking worrying about the goddamn syrup bottle, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think Mako Rex makes a great point. Honestly, with no external enemy to deal with, a lot of people have gotten bored. So they're looking for stuff. This is what I personally think. They just look for issues. It's like, if you're, Dion, if you're looking for issues to have with Hillary, like, oh my God, she brushed her hair over her left ear instead of her right ear. And it's like, what? You're just looking to pick a fight. And it's stupid. So Mako Rex is right. We have our friend, let's see, K. Stodham 42 with a super chat cat sticker. Thank you very much. Dion's special horse Little Biscuit says, Dion was looking for that girl pick up Jeff for an uncomfortable amount of time. His face was like an RC Cola can on a warm summer day, and his pecker was sturdy like my hooves.
RC Cola can on a hot summer day? Goddamn.
RC Cola, really?
Yeah, that's
really?
a hell of an image, dude.
Why did you say tab?
Now, folks, if you stick around...
Tab don't exist no more.
Oh, yeah,
damn it, that's true.
Folks, if you stick around till the end of the show, I actually ran all of our faces through the face app, so you can see us as girls. You can see us mixed together. I have a picture of Kendo morphed with Dion and Kendo morphed with Jesse for some reason. So tonight on the stream, we will show those. Just stick around till the end. It'll be the perfect closer.
Uncomfortable.
This is going to be fun.
It's hilarious, honestly. And look, I did it to myself on the High Council as a joke. It's been fucking hilarious. People are like freaking out over it. So I'm just laughing all the way. So, by the way, I worked for RC Cola, so they exist at least up until 2008. So Dion, when you met me,
Yep.
Winning Jeremy says
RC
Jeff
still exists.
It's just not. I don't know why I dislike RC Cola so much. It's just cola, but I don't like it. Royal Crown.
Yeah,
like
Royal Crown.
I mean, I prefer Coke, but I like it. It's fine.
Winning Jeremy says Jeff wants to be Jean Grey so he can hook up with Scott. That hurts.
Well, we've cracked that code.
Oh man.
And then for now, Zero Gun Rivale, because actually we're going to read two more. Zero Gun Rivale says they accidentally destroyed abolitionist statues. See, these people. The funny thing is when we're trying to suppress
Shocking.
history, yes, shocking is right, because everyone wants to suppress history, so they go out in the name of whatever causes fresh on Twitter, and then they destroy the things that actually existed. The people that fought to make your right to do this dumb shit. You have the ability to do that. So you're just kind of wiping out a good monument. So
Can we just destroy Twitter? Can we do that? Because that seems to be the problem here the entire time. It's like everything that keeps happening on Twitter over and over again. It's like that must be the problem. Just nuke it and be done with it.
And finally, we have our friend Marty McFly from the greatest movie ever. He says a movie that could never be made today would be Soul Man. And if you haven't seen it, you should Google it. Oh, I've seen Soul Man.
Oh yeah.
I've seen Soul Man.
Don't
we talked about
that
that
movie's
last
fucking
week.
terrible.
Hey, Dion, my black dad bought that movie in the 80s because he thought it was funny. So we have Soul Man. Yeah. So now, folks, here comes the main part of our show. Now, I saw this after Nick sent it to me this morning, so thank you, Nick. Last week, we were talking about the trigger warnings before Gone with the Wind and how we all agreed that they were unnecessary. And these people that are offended by an 80-year-old movie, well, why weren't you offended 3 weeks before that? Oh, because of the changing tide on Twitter. People are making change for the good. No, people are making bad changes because it's reactionary change. No one stops and thinks about any kind of negative adverse effects, outcomes. We just keep jumping the gun because, we don't want to offend. You know what I say? Screw it. Screw the people that get offended. So Variety magazine is not too far from this apartment. I'm embarrassed to say that after reading this list. So, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the list. We're going to look at each film individually. It's only 10, and some of them are, we're going to just breeze past them. but some of them are actually pretty important. So, without further ado, 10 problematic films that could use warning labels. And I would just like to say personally, I am vehemently opposed to warning labels on films unless you do the R rating and you tell why a film is rated R, because that kind of shit is it. The rating system. You don't want a kid to go see some traumatic war movie, or you don't want to see a kid watch a film where a guy gets his head ripped off with a chainsaw. I get that stuff. That's fine. That kind of stuff could be damaging. But I don't think a movie that was okay so many years ago, like Forrest Gump was cool 26 years ago, Forrest Gump was acceptable. All of a sudden it's not. And Forrest Gump is one of those, I've never seen the full thing, but it's one of those movies about, this guy that achieves a lot. So let's also, guys, every time we read one of these, let's think of what happens when we look at one of these movies, these questionable films under a microscope, and the negative effects, because some of these movies have a very positive story. So first off on the list is Dirty Harry, okay? Number 10.
Oh, God.
Now I'm going to read the description.
Okay.
Lieutenant Harry Callahan, sorry, I can't speak. Lieutenant Harry Callahan of the San Francisco Police Department is determined to uphold the law, even if he has to break the rules. It started a craze for movies about maverick cops who get the job done by following their instincts rather than the law. The film mocks liberal judges and do-gooders, and the villain claims police brutality, planting the seed that other such charges are fake. Moves to get sympathy. So I don't think anything in Dirty Harry needs to have a label. Do you guys?
No. And I think that influenced that whole genre of films of the cop kind of going a little bit rogue, and I think that also influenced Beverly Hills Cop as well, because you have the very first one, Axel Foley, he gets knocked over the head and his friend dies, he gets shot in the hallway of his apartment, and then he has to go investigate. He has to go rogue. He has to go off the beaten path. He's not following rules. He's got to go find who killed his friend and what happened. We have those movies, I think, because of this movie or because of these movies that have started.
Oh, of course. When I read that description, I thought of Axel. So.
Yeah, exactly. And we have a bunch of other movies as well. I mean, we've got the Die Hards. We've got Lethal Weapon. We've got a bunch of fun shit that we love to watch. And once again,
the person that he beats the shit out of is a fucking child predator that killed a kid.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, these are works of fiction. They're supposed to be entertaining. Get over it.
It's really because he's a cop. Let's be honest. They're putting Dirty Harry into the microscope because he's a cop.
Right.
So
from 71.
Yeah. But just today, I love the Dirty Harry films. Yes, he's a certain type of character, but he's also fake and he's also awesome. See, to me, a film like Dirty Harry or a character like Dirty Harry Callahan, you can't have that in real life. So sometimes it's just a cathartic release. It's like, oh, great. We can watch this guy who can just cut through the bullshit and the bureaucracy of the law and get the bad guy. Because he's not going after these questionable gray area things. Like you said, Dion, what's his name? Scorpio, the bad guy from the first movie. He's just an outright predator. He killed a kid. There's no excuse. You killed someone, you're going down. And he keeps getting away with it because of the bullshit of the law. So what did Dirty Harry do? Well, he goes his own way and he takes care of business. I don't think this movie needs a warning. I think this movie needs to be watched 10 times more than it has been. And it's already a huge classic and a huge hit. So Warner Brothers, don't snip your balls off and, throw out Dirty Harry with the bathwater. It's an important part of your film library and one of the all-time classics. Most of the Dirty Harry films are awesome. Do you guys have anything else that you want to add to this one?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So, the next film on the list would be Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump was made by intelligent people, won 6 Oscars, and is beloved by many. While the film is condescending to anyone with a disability, Vietnam vets, and people with AIDS, among others, it's actually hostile to protesters, activists, and counterculture. As a bonus, a lovable title character, Nathan Bedford Forrest, was named after his grandfather, the first Grand Wizard of the KKK.
This is a movie.
He fucking leaves that place and goes and meets people the opposite of his fucking grandfather. What the fuck are you pissed about? He apologized to the Black Panthers for ruining their goddamn party. He doesn't treat them like shit. The dude was supposed to be handicapped, and he goes and meets the fucking president. What you complaining about? Fuck. The dude beats up someone who smacks his girl. What the fuck you complaining? He plays ping pong with Chinese people. What are you bitching about? His best friend that dies in Vietnam in a bullshit war was a black dude. Fuck. What why does that one need to trigger? Because his dad's probably kid. It was Alabama, bro. That shit happens down there. And then he literally runs away from it. Fuck. What? Why?
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, you have him be a good person and meet all these people and have a good time. Plus, you have like, a lot of war stuff that happens in it. You have the AIDS thing with his girlfriend. You have a bunch of cultural things that happen in this movie throughout the time that he's going through. And it's kind of this weird, like, traveling through time of U.S. events of what this fictional character is going through. And I think that's more important than anything. I mean, you could just kind of see these things as they're done throughout the movie, in this cool way. And I've watched it a couple of times all the way through, and I think it's a wonderful movie. It's slow, it's a little weird here and there, but I mean, it's a great movie. And Dion's 100% right. Like, he runs away from the KKK. He runs away from Alabama. He goes and does all this stuff. He goes to college. He plays football. He goes to the war. He goes to the army. He has all these friends from all over the place. He does all these things. Like, I don't get the problem. I really don't get the problem.
Yeah, like I said, I've never seen the full film. Obviously, I've seen the clips. I've seen the chunk of it. One year at Christmas at my uncle's house, he had it on after everyone had left and we were still there. So I've seen it. To me, like Monkey Diva says, they're attacking a mentally challenged character. They're monsters. I always looked at Forrest Gump as a guy with a mental disability that overcame and became an inspirational character.
Yeah.
This poor Southerner with fucking braces on his legs who was out. Didn't he become, like you said, ping pong champion? He was in the war. He ran shrimp boats. Like, he did all of this stuff. The character is one of those characters, like, I don't care where you come from, what walk of life, he's cool to people, he loves people, and he overcomes and really succeeds. And I think you cut that message out because you're worried about, it's anti-protester. You know what? Fuck this writer. Fuck that shit. This film is an achievement to a lot of people. Robert Zemeckis, for me, is always going to be the Back to the Future guy, but this is his big movie in terms of the critical acclaim. It won the Oscars. It made the money. It's a part of history, and it's one of Tom Hanks' most iconic roles. Are you going to cancel Tom Hanks because he played Forrest Gump? Tom Hanks seems like an all-around pretty good guy. So we need to take a step back because you're full of piss and vinegar during, this time period, the summer of 2020. But then you'll look back. This to me is like anytime you make really bad stereotype comedy, because you can do it right if you're, the blackface in Tropic Thunder is a commentary on method acting and so many other things, and not casting a black actor. It's meant to be funny, and that works. Sometimes you have really messed up shit. So they're really wiping out that.
You let them, and they stay on there, and you let them stay on their own. Like, even if a movie ends up being shitty shit, you let it get put out there, and then the people decide, this is a shitty movie. We're gonna call it shit. It's gonna get dumped on critics, and then it's gonna be forgotten. Like, that's a way worse death than, oh my god, it needs a trigger warning. Not to fucking mention, Forrest Gump doesn't even shit on protests. Like, all he does is, they're protested, and they talk to him because he's a soldier, and the fucking mic goes out.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And even when they release what he says, he just goes, it was a war, and I had a lot of friends, and a lot of good people died. And then he goes, that's all I got to say about that. Like, he doesn't even shit on protesters.
I don't understand the whole shitting on protesters thing. I don't get that part of it because he never did. He never beat them or whatever, or any of that stuff never happened. So I don't understand that aspect. It's kind of odd.
So up next is the reason. Oh, sorry, Kendall, what were you saying?
I was just saying it's a massive reach. I mean, this whole article, I read it. It's a massive reach, but what are you going to do?
Well, the next movie is the reason why I wanted to talk about it is the way we are now, because Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is my favorite Indiana Jones film. It's one of my personal all-time favorites. It's something we've talked about heavily on this channel, and I love it, and I'll fight for it. I think Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom doesn't need anything. You know what? They invented the PG-13 rating after this movie because it was so intense. That's the only thing in terms of, we need to be cautious about shit, because it did that. So let's leave the film alone, but let's hear what they're saying first. Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are generally compassionate filmmakers, but this film went a little too far in trying to replicate the mood of 1930 action serials. Like those old movies with the exotic villains are portrayed as primitive and bloodthirsty foreigners, resulting in negative and stereotypical depictions of India and Hindu customs. Nick, start us off.
Okay, what year was this depicting again? Just to reference
1935.
1935. India was under British rule in 1935. Once again, here's the thing. I remember, as a kid watching these movies, my mom would watch them, whatever. You want to know how my whole family, my community felt about this movie when it came out, and how they wanted everybody to watch, how they wanted it portrayed. They were really happy that Indians were on a big fucking American movie. That's how it fucking happened. They're happy that India was actually in an American movie the whole time. They were like, Spielberg's doing something in India. Fuck, that's awesome. It's great. Let's all support it. That's how that fucking happened. Okay. Yeah, the depictions are weird and and things like that because, I mean, that was the British's way of looking at India during those times. Is like their cultures are odd, the things they eat are odd, and this, that, and the other. And even then, like, it was an evil cult that were eating these things, in reality. So like the monkey's brains, the snakes, and the eyeball soup, like that was a cult that was there in that area doing those things. So of course they're gonna eat weird shit.
The thuggy.
Yeah,
I was about
exactly.
to say, I googled the Wikipedia the real thuggy. They were, let's see, the thuggy refers to acts of thugs, like organized gang. The English language word thug traced from the roots of the Hindi, which means swindler, deceiver. Related words, blah blah blah. The term describing the murder, robbery of travelers was popular in the northern parts of the Indian subcontinent, and particularly India. So the thuggy, the cult in the movie, the thuggy cult, they did some shit. So Nick,
they did. Yeah, I mean, of course they did. I mean, once again, they're assholes in every culture. That's gonna happen. But even then, like you had, let me look at the guy's name. The guy who's saying all the stuff in Hindi, which is just basically, God, Molaram. Yeah, basically, all he's saying is like, give me the power. He keeps saying that, over and over again. Amish Puri.
Okay.
Famous Indian actor died, I want to say 10 years ago. Really famous Indian actor. Once again, when he was in an American movie, all the Indians went to go fucking support it. Okay, that's what happened. They were excited. They weren't offended. They were excited. This whole weird idea of just like white people, white college kids being offended, I don't know, 40 fucking years later for a movie that took place is beyond me. I don't get it, and I don't like it, and I don't condone it. It's such a weird thing. Another one, what was it? I think it's what was it? Mission Impossible Rogue Nation or something. You had a famous Indian actor in there as well. What the hell is his name? Let me look. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Fuck. I was really far down the list. I don't know. That might be the one.
Looking at more pictures.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like these are like like I forget what Mission Impossible was. Maybe Rogue Nation, maybe Ghost Protocol. I'm not sure. It's one of those ones. But once again, that one had that one. Like I remember reading the description of like how they made the film. None of that is India because I watched it with my mom and grandmother. They said that is not India at all. It was like Canada or something. They redressed like the convention center in like Quebec or something to make it look like an Indian palace or whatever. The main and once again, when everybody saw that that Indian actor, they didn't go, oh, he's being depicted like an asshole. It's like, no, we're gonna go support it because we support our own. That's just kind of how we do it. Anil Kapoor, that's the guy. Yeah, once again, another famous Indian actor in an American movie, going to be supported, not shunned because America didn't get the brown people right and didn't depict us in our own way or whatever. It's like, fuck that. I'm sorry, but there are other things to worry about. So and even the whole Temple of Doom thing is just like, it's beyond me. I mean, I've watched it with you, Jeff. I think we watched it on the channel a couple times too, and it's like, yeah, it's a wonderful movie. It's a wonderful movie.
Returns the fucking item back to the natural owners.
Yeah.
Obviously it's it's a little weird because it's fucking Steven Spielberg and George Lucas's depiction, of a different culture. They're not batting 100 here.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also the culture in the 30s.
Right. So it's like it's like this is how they're looking at 30s India. And again, he fucking he takes the shit back so he can save them.
He saves a village full of children.
Yeah, he doesn't do it in the other two fucking movies. He actually is like, you know what? There's shit that I don't understand. I'm gonna give it back, especially after I got almost got my heart ripped out of my goddamn chest and almost got fucking fed to fucking alligators. I'm gonna take this shit back, and I got my little Asian buddy. And I'm gonna go fuck this white woman afterwards. Fucking happy ending. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like whoever wrote this article is some like liberal arts college kid. I'm betting, and he's writing this for clickbait, and that's what it pretty much is generated. And it's such a shitty article.
It is a shitty article. I bet it's some. Oh, let's scroll up real quick and see who it is instead of guessing. It's written by Tim Gray, and Tim Gray is the senior vice president of Variety. It looks like.
Oh shit! Never mind then.
Yeah, he's an older guy. He's full of shit.
Get them clicks for them college girls, because Variety wants to be popular.
Now, Kendo, what did you think of this? Stupid, pretty much, this Temple of Doom thing?
I think it's stupid. I mean, why? It just goes back to the whole attacking movies for the sake of what? To try to score brownie points with the woke crowd? That's really all it is. It's saying, look how woke I am. I can go and pick apart things that were made in a different time and place and point out why they're so bad, to show how fucking woke I am and how great I am and what a culture warrior I can be. Love me, people. Click on my shit. That's all it is.
Yeah. Dion, anything else you want to add about Temple of Doom?
It's a fucking great movie, and you had.
It's a great movie. Go watch it.
All right. So Me Before You. I've never seen this movie. I think it's Emilia Clarke. Yeah, it says right here. This is the least iconic film on the list, but it's worth listening because it's so insensitive. Me Before You is a romance about a man who becomes paralyzed after an accident and falls in love with his new companion. He urges her to live her life to the fullest instead of living half a life with him. So he kills himself, presenting the idea that suicide is better life than life with a disability. I haven't seen this movie, so I really don't know what to say based off that premise. I don't really think it needs a warning, though.
No, I mean, yeah, I've never seen it, so I can't really say. But I mean, once again, no movie needs a warning except if it's R-rated, like you've said, yeah, like you've been saying, Jeff.
Okay, here's the most recent film on the list: Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino is adored by cinephiles, and stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are charismatic and talented, so it's easy to overlook the film's regressive messages. It's about two middle-aged white guys who long for the old days in Hollywood. In other words, MGHA, make Hollywood great. Fuck this guy. The film is set in Again, here's the trend here. The film is set in 1969. Times have changed. When some Americans felt that the status quo was being threatened by minorities, hippies, and newly liberated women. From the controversial depiction of Bruce Lee, one of Hollywood's rare Asian stars. Dion, how many fucking martial arts films have you watched in your life?
So goddamn many.
How rare are they?
Not anymore. Definitely not rare anymore.
Yeah, but in 1969, Bruce Lee wasn't Bruce Lee, so
right. Like, oh, he's just one of the rare. Oh, you mean Bruce fucking Lee? And then it says the fact that black people seem non-existent and the Mexicans, as they're called in the film, are car valets or waitresses. Tarantino's film has several blind spots, and Charles Manson's white supremacist agenda is ignored. First off, it's alternate history, so fuck off. And secondly, the fact that you're trying to put a current political slant on a film that's set in an alternate 1969. We're talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They're saying it needs a trigger warning in front of it. Is bullshit. I like this movie quite a bit. Now, Dion, I want you to go first because you have a problem with Tarantino's certain things. You're not a big Tarantino fan, but I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood didn't really suffer from these problems.
Here's my trigger warning for that movie's trigger warning. It's long.
Trigger warning is long, Jesse says. I think that's perfect. That's a good joke. Other than that, there's nothing else.
Right. I fucking love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And again, partially because it is a period piece. So obviously, he's talking about a specific actor story that he's telling. And again, it's 1969 fucking Hollywood. Obviously, there aren't a lot of brothers and sisters and Mexicans working there because it's fucking Hollywood in 69. Boom. And then, regressive. Part of the movie is specifically focusing on Margot Robbie's character. We watch her go buy a book and go to the fucking movies, and she's excited about her movie. What the fuck are you talking about? And yeah, the line where he goes, yeah, don't cry in front of the Mexicans. Like, that's part of the period. That's what they talked about. That's what they said. And they're following a white actor from Missouri in 69 in Hollywood. Obviously, they weren't big fans of hippies. That's part of the character. He just keeps dumping on hippies.
Yeah. And the last time I checked, too, the stuff they were longing for is about making Hollywood great again. It's about a guy who grasping for fame. What's that movie? Fucking Sunset Boulevard. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. The end of that movie, that is the same story as Leonardo DiCaprio. Are we going to cancel or put a trigger warning in front of that because it's about grasping for your former glory? How are people that work at a magazine about film, all these film study majors, all these idiots that wasted their time talking about this crap, they don't even know the movies they're talking about. These people are full of shit. They don't understand anything they talk about.
Not to mention the fact that it's like, yo, he kills him. So specifically because the movie didn't be like, oh, by the way, Manson, who's fucking crazy, randomly started talking about white power. Because they didn't have a line specifically talking about that. Oh, yeah, they brushed over his history. Blah, 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 blah. They fucking kill the people who eventually would go on to kill a pregnant woman and her husband.
Exactly.
Or her boyfriend. So we're gonna shit on that because the dude saved not only his best friend and his best friend's wife and dog, but they stopped a murder in the alternate ending of the alternate version of this period piece. What the fuck?
What do you need a trigger warning for in that movie? You already have the rating system for violence. It puts it right on there. Ultra violence is nothing new. It's certainly nothing new for Tarantino. I mean, fuck. Kubrick invented the term ultra violent violence in the 70s with fucking Clockwork Orange. So it's not like this is new shit. Like, violence is not new. So what is it? Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the fact that we see what's his butt for 5 seconds.
They're not going on about the violence. They're going on about how it's too many white people, and then how it has a regressive tone.
It's Hollywood in '69. God damn
what
it!
are you wanting to do?
Trigger warning because there's not enough black people in it.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? Here's
trigger warning. White people. Now we need a trigger warning just because we're white. I'm sorry. Like, this is that is now you're actually talking about trying to put racial discrimination into our culture. That is racial discrimination. Like, how is it not?
I agree 100%.
Can we get all the Czechoslovakian and Russian black dudes to be in Chernobyl season 2, please?
Yeah,
no,
we need Chernobyl. We need more black people in Schindler's
cancel all
List.
historical films.
Can we do that?
We gotta have black people in Schindler's List.
History that didn't happen to white people.
Find a way to put some black people in Schindler's List. My God, variety. We need to have some brothers. Find a way, goddammit.
Use your green screen and get Morris Chestnut in there, goddammit. He hasn't done shit in a while.
When we do a sequel to Inglourious Bastards, we need more brothers, because there are a lot of them running around in Nazi Germany.
Shit, though,
get Jordan Peele.
You joke about Schindler's List, though? That'll be next. People are going to be outraged next because it's all about the Jews and it doesn't cover all the other 5 million people who also died in the Holocaust. I've heard that. I have been called a Holocaust denier just because I talked about the Jews suffering in the Holocaust and didn't also spend equal amounts of time talking about every other type of person that was killed in the Holocaust. My fucking grandma suffered from the Holocaust, not Jewish. It doesn't make me a Holocaust fucking denier to not say that. Like, the idiocy, the lunacy, the amount of mental gymnastics it takes to justify this garbage. How? Yeah. I don't even understand. What's your justification? Somebody, give me, what is your justification for doing this? What makes this morally okay?
Because we need more brothers, woman. What you complaining about? I want brothers in Schindler's List. I want more brothers in
American History X.
American History X. Why can't I have some brothers that are Nazis? I want to see some black Nazis. Yo, Michael J. White. I know that you can see a Nazi tattoo on you, son.
Right now.
Listen. We'll get Michael J. White and Michael B. Jordan to play the two black Nazis. We're trying to bring the Nazi party to Harlem or something in the 60s.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll make that movie, Dion. We'll do that.
Hey, why don't we turn that into a backup story for a comic? That would be a fucking ridiculous story.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We need more black people and Asians in Braveheart.
Yeah.
That movie's all white guys.
Man.
Listen.
That's some bullshit.
It's because Mel Gibson.
There weren't enough Asian people in the Patriot. Okay, goddammit.
How about we do an erasure of the William Wallace character played by Mel Gibson and have Aziz Ansari play him in the reboot?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, go figure. It's a Mel Gibson movie.
You can get rid
set
of like
in Scotland
my mind.
God, I fucking hate Aziz Ansari.
Of course, it's all white people.
That's some bullshit, dog. Yo, man, we definitely need some more Chinese people in the Patriot because Dong Hyun Kim would have been a great, one of my Asian brothers doing the backup to whatever the fuck Mel Gibson's character is. I want some Asian children running around for America.
Dion, can I ask you a stupid question?
Of course.
For the sake of this tweet, how do I spell brother?
BROTHA.
BRO. Okay, just I thought, but I just wanted to double check. With the brother.
She had to ask the brother how to spell brother.
Look, I don't want to offend anyone.
So, now, the next film I've never seen or even heard of it until right now, The Children's Hour. It's based on a play by liberal activist Lillian Hellman. This drama tackled a once taboo subject. Two teachers are horrified when a bratty student accuses them of being lesbians. Eventually, one of the teachers weepingly confesses that she does have lesbian feelings. And I want to see this movie now because it sounds insane. I can't wait to watch it now. And does something that's as inevitable. She kills herself. The film sets the tone for the depiction of LGBT people for decades, showing them as self-loathing, pitiable, and perverted. This again, mental gymnastics to.
Well, because
the Joker depicts somebody, fucked up with their mental illness. Every single person who has a mental illness is the Joker now.
They tried that shit though back in October with that movie. They tried to put every kind of negative qualifier on the film Joker, and everybody went out and supported it, and it made more money than Star Wars. The most progressive version of Star Wars that exists can't bring in the same money about an angry white guy with mental problems.
That's literally what we're doing though. That's the whole argument too. Why you can't make black villains anymore and you can't make female villains anymore because it makes women or black people look dynamic, nuanced, and like real human beings who can be good and bad like regular people and not superheroes and invincible and perfect little Mary Sue's. God forbid. No, you guys aren't human. Deanna's never done anything morally questionable ever in his life.
Yeah, you watched Dark Fate 888 times. That is definitely.
Hold up now, man. I ain't going down for that shit. That wasn't me, man. That wasn't me, man.
So who are you, Shaggy? Dion wasn't me.
So let's see. We also have The Searchers. John Wayne plays a Civil War veteran on the Confederate side. With an exclamation point.
I see that. On the Confederate side?
Who goes on a 5-year search for his niece who was kidnapped by the Comanches. Wayne's character, Ethan Edwards, is an unapologetic racist who sees all Native Americans as less than human. Revered director John Ford created a physically beautiful film that has inspired an ongoing debate. Fans see Searchers as a sober study of bigotry. Detractors say it's impossible to overlook the fact that Native Americans are depicted as savage or comical. Whatever you think, The Searchers is the epitome of a problematic film. Fuck the word problematic. And should be screened with discussions. Yeah, you can have the discussions all you want. Nobody wants to take away your free speech, but put these modern day qualifiers in front of a movie because some dickhead down the street from me is morally offended by this movie. You know what, dude? Why don't you go write something that has merit that will stand the test of time? Anything these people, we'll just use the phrase the SJW people because it seems to be the coverall phrase. Everything they worry about and create, they don't create, they just tear down. So they're not adding anything to society. They're making society more difficult for the people they try to defend because you piss off people and then it's sad too because you think these people are coming in with the best of intentions, and some people are, but they also pervert it, and then it makes people that get angry about their actions. So this guy, you might have somebody that goes, well, I dislike this person or I dislike this group of people because they're trying to take away my favorite movie. And that guy won't get the pushback. The writer, some innocent person will get the pushback. So maybe this guy needs to shut up and worry about other things, like something, conducive to society, not, a John Wayne film from fucking almost 60 or over 60 years ago, almost 70 years ago was offensive.
56 when Westerns were in the height, well, not even Westerns, but even like Civil War Westerns, I guess, or whatever. During that time, it's like, this is a movie that the people wanted to see. Obviously, they did it to make money. Once again, that's one thing people keep forgetting about Hollywood, and Hollywood has forgotten about itself, is that it's there to make money. And it seems like, when they look at these old movies and things that have brought in money, like I'm sure The Searchers did, it's like it was a product of the time. They were making a lot of these movies back then, and this is the story they went with. Once again, 56. Give it a fucking break.
Yeah. Up next, we have Silence of the Lambs. Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 Psycho pioneered the idea of cross.
Yeah. Come on.
Look at Psycho pioneered the cross-dressing killer in an image that Hollywood has used frequently throughout the years, often with a surprise twist ending. In the final scene, Psycho says Norman Bates is not a transvestite. Similarly, Jonathan Deems, Best Picture winner, takes pains to say that Buffalo Bill, Ted Levine, was not trans, but audiences remember the women makeup, his little poodle, and the fact that he tucks his male genitals away to look feminine. Viewers remember the line about fava beans, but it's doubtful they remember the clarification about Buffalo Bill. So we're gonna put a trigger warning to defend a fucker that is picking up people and killing them because we don't want to depict a serial killer in a negative light. What the hell? He's the bad guy of the movie.
It's not even that. The Buffalo Bill character is based off of a real life serial killer named Ed Gein. Right. From like the 1940s and 50s that went and he did shit like that. He killed people. He dug up women's corpses and made himself a woman suit to become a woman.
Yep. So that's a true thing.
Right. They dialed it back for the fucking movie.
Yeah. They dialed it. Yeah. They dialed it like 95% back for the fucking movie. Because unfortunately, I've seen the pictures of his house and everything that they have online, and like, god damn, that is one sick fuck. Oh.
Yeah, and people in the chat were talking about the John Wayne stuff. Maybe this writer should go back and watch the film because other people are interpreting it differently. And if you want to have
fun, because once again, I've never seen it. I don't know what it's about. But just once again reading from this description. I'd like to watch it. It sounds interesting, So
it's a good fucking movie.
Wait, you seen The Searchers?
Long time ago. My dad was a huge John Wayne fan.
Wait, your dad was a John Wayne fan?
Yes.
What?
That doesn't fit with the narrative of this writer.
I know, right? Holy shit.
Dion, how can your dad be a John Wayne fan? He's black. He's not allowed to like that stuff, according to this guy.
Well, there's this one thing that black people did was, I like your movies, but fuck you. And that's what they did with John Wayne. Obviously, he was an asshole. They were like, I love those. I fucking love El Dorado, brother. So like, fuck, not to mention, are we gonna just ignore the fact that karma kind of got him? I mean, what the fuck? We're just gonna pretend that shit didn't happen?
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, it was a fucked up way he died and the way it all happened, but that was some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, but this Silence of the Lambs one is just ridiculous. I can't believe that they're worried about that. You know what I remember about this movie? I say it, but it's the most parodied part, the Goodbye Horses scene. Jay from Jay and Silent Bob does it. Are they going to go after Clerks 2 now because it parodies a very iconic film scene?
No. They're going to go after Dogma because one of the apostles was black.
No, they'll never go after Dogma because it questions religion and it's the same shit.
I mean, Kevin Smith is a woke darling, so they'll probably let him have a pass.
That's true.
Yeah.
He has become quite
Plus
woke
he
lately.
cries at shitty Star Wars movies. Fuck
Oh, man.
Our next movie on this list is Holiday Inn. The film centers on a duo, Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire, who run a hotel that's open only for holidays. Thus, the film is revived frequently throughout the year. Some versions have cut the scene where Crosby mystifyingly sings Abraham in blackface to celebrate Abe Lincoln's birthday. It's one of the long line of Hollywood movies which stars Joan Crawford, Judy Garland, Shirley Temple, Astaire, and of course, Al Jolson, to name a few, perform in blackface, and it's always presented as a lark. I will say I saw this movie with that scene in it a couple years ago. My mom and I were trying to watch a different Bing Crosby movie, not Holiday Inn. We were trying to find White Christmas or something. And I was like, wait, is this it? And we watched it, and the whole thing. That scene is really awkward and cringy, and the movie sucks ass. The thing is, nobody even cares about the film Holiday Inn. This dude is reaching.
No. I mean, like some pint-sized rapper made a song about this movie, a few years ago. So nobody cares about this. Chingy.
Oh yeah, St. Louis's own.
You guys have the best of everything.
Yeah. I know.
I would say Chingy's the best anything.
Yeah,
one good song.
In the worst.
Right there.
I was gonna say the only thing that Chingy did successfully was become really good friends with Nelly.
And
that's why we know what that's how you know what a Chingy is because he knew Nelly.
Oh God! And where's
Nelly actually was very successful.
Yeah, and where's Nelly now? Is he serving time for that meth he had in his truck?
No, he's too busy doing shitty songs about Porsches.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It's not the late 1990s anymore. Nelly kind of isn't a thing.
I look it up, Chingy, on Google Play Music. He has an album called Powerballin'.
That's his debut one, I think, wasn't it?
The other one's called Jackpot.
Oh no, Jackpot was the debut
Jackpot was
one.
that's what it was.
Right.
Is he the guy
right
that
there.
thinks everybody in the club get tipsy?
No, that's
No.
J.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that song was okay back in the day, and I thought it was Chingy. Not Chingy sucked anyway.
Listen, Jaquan was the definition of a one-hit wonder.
Oh
And
my
then
God, he was.
ended up
Holy
like
shit.
disappearing for like a week, and everyone thought he went off and killed himself somewhere. It was fucking weird. Which if your name's Jaquan, maybe you want to rethink about that.
And then the final film on the list is True Lies.
Oh, Jesus
Come on,
Christ.
get the fuck out of here! Nope,
Hey.
nope.
James Cameron is a rare filmmaker, a brilliant storyteller, and a true visionary. But even a genius can make a misstep. The film is entertaining and has some terrific set pieces, but the Arab characters are religious fanatics or terrorists or both.
Oh my god.
Hold on. Get fucked.
Yeah, because there's no real life examples of that.
Right, that's not a real thing we got to worry about. Like,
Sorry,
dude,
I had to scream into the mic. I'm sorry.
No, that it actually came out very well. It showcased your emotion and your feelings.
You enunciated it. It came through clearly. Yeah, you had there was emotion.
Oh
It was
my
raw.
God. Oh my God. And like, if I mean, even the brown actors you had in the movie went on and did other things that were actually really good. What is it? Art Malik, who was the main dude. The main dude was in Jewel of the Crown, The Living Daylights, Wolfman, City of Joy. Like,
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. He was great in The Living Daylights as the Mujahideen leader or something.
yeah. So I mean, he's had one hell of a career. And once again, like, this is just how it is. Some of these, like, you have these productions who make these movies, and then they'll pay these actors to play these roles, and they'll be like, they might be like, oh no, it's offensive. And it's like, well, how much is it paying? All right, I'll do it. It's like, money talks. What are you gonna do?
I may not love the film True Lies, but it's not. It doesn't need a trigger warning or a Twitter warning or whatever people in the chat were calling it. It's just a movie.
Okay. Also, let's see. This movie came out in '94. How old were you guys in '94?
6. I was actually 5 when the film
11.
came out.
Okay, all right. So you probably watch it later on, but do you remember the Jamie Lee Curtis scene?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I saw the movie.
Exactly.
My dad had a thing for Jamie Lee.
Exactly. That
Plus,
was an
like,
awesome scene, and it made us all men real quick.
It did. And goddamn, Jamie Lee Curtis, you can still stop by today. But the fucking one of the things about film that changed, that was reflected in the 90s, was people were tired of the same old white European rich villains of TV and other films. People didn't want to keep seeing white bad guys. So if we go, what is that the suggestion this dude wants? Like, okay, well, we don't want to have bad guys that happen to be Arabic or fanatics, so we can only have white European dudes with slick back hair and they smoke French cigarettes. That was an issue that kind of we helped get over by having villains that looked different. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you want to try to have some kind of philosophical conversation about depicting Arabic people as fanatics, well, one, that wasn't the only type of bad guy in the 90s. Even in the early 90s, you had a wide range of shit in the early 90s of villains. A lot of them were white dudes. Okay, not to mention the explosion of, there was some shit going on in the 90s. And a lot of times movies, whether it's on purpose or subconsciously, reflect that time. Especially in the early 90s, you had a lot of shit going on over in the Middle East. A lot of that stuff was starting up again. So again, I don't know. I highly doubt that James Cameron was trying to be like, you know what? People are already pissed about Arabs. Let's put them in the movie so they'll know. We know that they're the bad guy. It's something that people can relate to. You don't have to describe the backstory. We all know that in real life there are some fanatics there are fanatics all over the world. In a lot of instances, some of them come from fucking the Middle East. And so we don't have to have a background on the bad guy because we are familiar with that shit in that time. So that's part of the way that the story is told. We don't need to have his fucking backstory of why he wants to destroy America. The dude's Arabic. We kind of get the gist already. It cuts out time in the movie where we can get to, okay, he's the bad guy, boom, let's see some shit blow up. It's not everything is a conspiracy. Like, oh, we hate Arabic. James Cameron hates Arabic so much he made sure that the bad guys were Arabic, and Tia Carrere was turned into an Arabic mercenary. What the fuck ever? No,
I mean, if he had done 3 of these movies in a row and all of them were Sam, then I'd question it. But he did one. He did one.
Right.
Yeah. Or if he just made a movie about like, essentially the movie Pleasantville, but like a bunch of Arabs invaded Pleasantville and blew it up instead of, Tobey Maguire changing the channel. Then you'd be like, okay, James Cameron, I see what you're doing here. You got some issues, clearly.
Right.
That's personal issues. But no, it's just a standalone movie where we just so happen to be fighting against Middle Eastern people, and that it's again, where do we not have any examples of that ever happening in history?
Right. He's not being malicious. All audience is familiar. Again, if he's being malicious in 4 movies, it's like, okay. Like, just like Kendall said, like, now we know the motherfucker's doing this shit on purpose. But fuck, it was 94. We don't have to have it explained over and over again. We're like, okay, Arabic dude, he's mad about shit. Okay, cool. Now, boom, let's get to the fucking action.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember watching this movie with me, my mom, and my little brother in our single screen theater here in Gallenberg. Like, we went to watch it. We didn't think shit about it, and the Arab people and all that stuff. We were just like, this is a good guy, bad guy movie. Arthur Schwarzenegger's the good guy. These terrorists are the bad guys.
Yeah.
They happen to look that way. Tough shit. It was a good time. It was a good ride.
Yeah, the Soviet Union wasn't a thing anymore, so we needed new bad guys. So who else do we have beef with in the world? Oh, wait, we just fought a war in the Persian Gulf. So, okay, let's just use them.
When do you think Super Troopers will get on a list like this?
Probably in the next couple months.
Yeah, give it 1 or 2 months.
Trying to think. Let's see what in Super Troopers could get it canceled.
Johnny,
Johnny Bananas.
Yeah, not Johnny.
Johnny Chimpo. Yeah,
Johnny. Yeah.
It's Afghanistan animation.
And then them calling. God damn it, not Kevin, but thinking that he's Mexican.
That is a funny fucking joke.
Yeah. That's a great joke.
That is a funny fucking joke.
And Rabbit goes, I don't get it. They think I'm Mexican. Like, that's a funny joke.
Or they say,
you're funnier considering. I was gonna say it's funny because the guy in that scene, Jay Chandrasekhar, wrote the fucking movie.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Well, even then, like,
so he wrote that own joke for himself.
Yeah, they make the joke of like saying, "Oh, what are you gonna use your black magic on? Don't you mean brown magic?" Like, he makes that joke as well. Yeah. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
Right.
It is a funny fucking movie.
And then them trying to fuck people they pull over is probably gonna get pulled up. I bet.
Oh my god,
they were swingers.
Jeez.
That's what
even
do.
when Rabbit goes to Banger and goes, "Come on, I need this," and he's just like, "Trust me, if any other time I'd step in and show you how it's done," they'll probably be like, "Oh my god, it's talking about cops using their power to."
It's so well. Oh yeah, never mind. Root of the problem. They're cops. Cancel it now.
God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the guy wrote it himself. People are so dumb. People are so uptight and misguided that pretty much nothing is safe. You have people, crazy extremist people that want to attack Star Wars because the 3 leads in the first trilogy was white and the second trilogy, and people were like, well, that's offensive. It's a problem. Well, 2 of those 3 characters are the parents of 2 of the other 3 characters, and they have to see the same color. This isn't the fucking Fantastic Four where you can just race swap in whenever you want, like Josh Trank's candy ass. You have to, build a story.
And even then, if they did say that, it's like, oh no, we had a Star Wars movie with a black lead. You made him the fucking janitor, and then you push him in the background, bitch. Shut up.
That what pissed me off is when I made a video last week about that, and it really, it's YouTube, didn't really gain a lot of traction, and I was pissed because I made that point about Disney. They want to stand behind these actors and do all this stuff, and be allies to everyone. But they don't practice what they preach. When it comes to money, they will bend over for China, and they don't care if China goes in dry. They will edit movies. They will change posters. They will do anything to appease that demographic that doesn't even want your movie. So I don't buy into any of the corporate talk because it's all about profits. They think that they're going to win the goodwill of fans by being on this side, the right side of history, and
dude,
lip service.
This whole year has been corporate talk. Like as soon as like the beer bug happened, everybody got those fucking emails from every corporation that you had that had your email saying, "Oh, we're doing our best to secure the area and make sure everything's okay," and things like that. But especially if it was like the cable company or the internet company, like we're still going to charge you for your service, but we're going to do our best to make sure that it keeps coming. It's like, how about you give us a fucking discount since some of us don't have a job? How about you work with us on that bullshit? And now recently I've gotten emails from all these companies like, oh, we're giving so much money to the BLM cause and all this stuff. I'm just like, and I love how everyone is like, oh, we're giving this much money over this much time. It's like, why can't you just do it now? Why not right now? Like, just dump the money in their account or something. Why are you doing it over a period of time?
Now, I always read the super chats in order, but one did pop up from TLJ Screwjob that I want to read since we're on the topic, and I promise I'll get to everybody's. Always do. He says, look up Sky Cinema's Aliens and read the description. I want to see the panel's reaction. Well, TLJ Screwjob, I read. So now we're going to play a quick game. Okay. Dion, within 10 seconds, just give me a brief description of Aliens. Don't give me a plot of the movie. Just give me like 3 or 4 sentences that would describe the film and how you would entice a new viewer for their first time experience.
Scary, unseeable motherfucker, kills a bunch of white folks, Sigourney Weaver in underwear.
Oh, no, we're talking about Aliens. Excuse me if I misspoke.
Oh, Aliens? Oh, okay. The scary, evil motherfucker from the first one, well, he brought his friends, and now we got motherfuckers with guns. They're going head to head. Who survives? Also, Sigourney Weaver still in her underwear.
Yeah.
And well, I won't. Never mind. We'll talk about that off air. This time, her underwear doesn't. Put it like this: an Alien, her underwear covers everything. In Aliens, it's hanging out. If you pay,
buddy.
When the plot opens in the beginning, that shit's out in public. I'm like,
well, I mean, they paid a little bit more money, so.
Well, I mean, I didn't realize that there was a pube clause in Sigourney Weaver's contract. I was trying to take the proper approach, but screw it. Her bush is sticking out of her underwear. In the open
There you go.
How did you I mean, this is a Hollywood. Unless she intentionally did it, it's like it's a Hollywood picture.
Listen, man. Listen. This is space in the future, man. Ain't nobody shaving.
No, that's completely fine with me. I'm just saying, like, how did a movie overlook that? Did they intentionally want it? I mean,
I think they let that one just slide by intentionally. You kind of don't make those mistakes. You're just like, we're just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, James Cameron's a man after my own heart. Anyway, Dion gave his description. Kendo, give yours.
Oh shit, I don't know how to top it. Other than these creatures are back and they're pissed off and they're looking for a fight, and it's guns ablazing on a spaceship and Sigourney Weaver's bush.
Nick, can you top that one?
Part 2, Space Marines. Aliens with acid blood. Power. Small white woman versus Queen Alien.
It's a bitch fist or something. Bitch fist like that.
It's a Karen fight. No, I'm kidding.
No, but here is the actual description. This film has outdated attitudes, language, and cultural depictions which may cause offense today. And then here's the description of the film. Sci-fi sequel starring Sigourney Weaver contains violence. That is it.
Okay.
That is the description of Aliens. What in the fuck?
Aliens was the first one I ever saw, and I fucking love that movie. Mm-hmm. Like, it was one of those ones that was on FX, I think, for like years, every day at like 4 or something. And I would be like, oh yeah, Aliens 2 starting up, I'm gonna watch it, because it was so much fun. It was ridiculously fun. The first one's really artsy and dark and cool, but like the second one was just like kind of like balls out action, and it was great.
And still was scary.
Yeah.
And then what outdated views? What the fuck are you talking about? That's the thing I want to know. Like, what are they? Like, it shows a woman who eventually went on to get killed by a Terminator, but she's one of the heavy gunners. And like, hey, Vasco, you ever get mistaken for a man? No. Have you? Like, that's awesome.
Well, look at Dion. They're going to say, well, Jeanette Goldstein's Jewish and she's playing Vasquez, who's Hispanic, and it's offensive that they can't. It's like, really? Who gives a shit? Okay? Like, I mean, how many? Look, Eric Bana really wasn't the Hulk. None of the. It's called acting. This is not like you're trying to go out and I want to interview someone for real life experience. No, it's a movie about a planet full of aliens, and you send Space Marines to eradicate aliens with futuristic weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
They're fictional characters. Fictional characters.
They're not.
Yeah, am I getting through to you?
Yeah, they were somewhere in deep space terraforming a goddamn planet. They were terraforming a planet. Like, that's far into the future. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Even in the future, things are still problematic.
God damn it.
That just kind of stuff just bothers me because, like I keep using the example. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Last week they gave them Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind fell. Now we're into the mile territory. And where does it end? It doesn't, because you have to take a hard-nosed stance with stupidity like this. Really, you just have to take a hard-nosed stance with stupidity. We're in a place in society, in history, where everyone's worried about offending, because if someone's offended, that's good enough reason to ruin somebody's life. And you know what? They're going so far to not offend that they're going regressive and they're going in the backwards direction. We're going to reach a point where things that are really great are going to be considered bad because, I don't know, the producer on this film once underpaid his valet at, Casa Vega or some dumb shit like that.
Jesus Christ,
that's
man.
the level of stupidity we're going to reach. And people say, Jeff, you're exaggerating. This is hyperbolic. No, we literally have taken away 80-year-old films from a streaming service because we have to put a disclaimer on the front because it could be offensive. It wasn't offensive it wasn't so problematic for 80 years, but all of a sudden it is because of new modern sensibilities of social media. That is the worst. Put it like this. It's like the butterfly effect. How Ashton Kutcher, at the end of the film, because I'm not going to root for Jessie because she hasn't seen it. We just talked about watching it today. But that alternate ending, that's what Twitter should be. Have that butterfly effect ending. And that would be perfect for society, because Twitter has really, I read an interesting piece about how Twitter has, I don't want to, what's the right phrase?
Ruined society?
It was ruined society because it retards speech, That's the thing. It's not about, the mental, it's like, like a flame retardant thing. It takes back speech. It limits your characters so you can't form full thoughts. And people use Twitter. They hold Twitter to the standard. So all they do is they talk, but they're doing it in little segments. So things are misconstrued. The important parts of their speech are not covered. And I think Twitter's a dangerous tool. I'm not calling for Twitter to be canceled, but I think Twitter actually needs to have fair policies on both sides, because Jack Tretton is his name, or Treaton. He was on the Joe Rogan show, and Joe Rogan kissed that dude's ass, and people called out Joe Rogan, and then they did another episode. Do you remember that, Dion?
Absolutely.
Because that's the person who makes most of those policies, is the lawyer.
Yeah.
They brought her on and actually made her answer the real fucking questions.
And
it's a great show.
It was the best episode of Joe Rogan show ever, and the whole context bullshit she tried to hide. It's behind the context. It's about the context of the conversation.
It's such great concrete example.
She's full of shit, and Twitter is just an echo chamber, like most of social media. If you can get away from it, get away from it. We'll all be happier at the end of the day.
You know what? Why don't we just cancel a lot of John Landis movies too while we're at it? Like Blues Brothers. Two white guys talking about the blues. Come on now.
Two white guys call themselves brothers. What the?
Oh
fuck?
God! I mean, that's racist. Animal House for their frats and rape culture. Trading Places for their experimental treating of a young black man.
And the black
and the black people.
And the N-word gets used. We can't have that.
That's true. Also, Twilight's in the movie because they killed 3 people.
That's a different.
That was an accident.
The movie Three Amigos, because it's 3 white guys who call themselves amigos. I mean, what the fuck? There's I can keep going. I'm not going to. But it's just like, where does this stop, and how do you? God damn it! I just hate it all. I just hate it all.
Stop.
I really do.
The horse is out of the barn.
God damn it! You're right. Oh, Jesus.
Trixie,
you can't trust horses.
Yeah. Well, Trixie in the chat says, like, what about Rush Hour? Rush Hour is not safe too, because remember what Jackie Chan says in the pool hall, well as the way Chris Tucker says, no one can understand you. But I guess they forget about the point where 2 people from different cultures and different ends of the world with different tactics come together to solve the same problem they have and become essentially brothers in the long run. Because after you get past the initial hump, they're willing to put their lives on the line to protect each other. And the whole course of Rush Hour isn't about, Chris Tucker making fun of Jackie Chan for being Asian and vice versa for Chris Tucker being black. It's about the experiences they share. Like, one of the best scenes in the movie is when they're eating the Chinese food, talking about my dad is a hero, my daddy will whoop your ass thing. You learn about the characters and who they are as people. And that's the whole point of all of this shit. There's people are people. Let's stop looking at how we can break them down and make them separate from each other, and let's talk about how we're all similar. So again, that cop scene, dad scene is awesome.
And again, that's the way that you want to bring people together. That's the way you do it, is you find shit that we all love, and then when we're all like, hey, this dude ain't too bad, then we could talk about other shit. Like, you get more fucking flies with honey, dude. Like, I don't understand, this. Oh, well, we gotta we gotta tell people that shit might get weird. Like, yeah, shit's gonna get weird. When you talk to people who you don't know, things get a little weird. And then, oh fuck, you love Rush Hour? I love Rush Hour. I love the part da 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 da. Yeah, that part's weird. Oh, by the way, da blah blah blah. Like that's how you move forward. When you break down walls and everyone's like, shit, you know what? This dude is all right. He loves RoboCop 2. I love RoboCop 2. What the fuck? Let's go change some shit together. Yeah, dude, all right. Like, that's the easiest way to fucking do it. And then, two, if you believe in something, you believe it all the time. You can't pick and choose just because something is against. Like, if you want to get rid of all racial shit, you're going to have to start going after guys like Richard Pryor. And, you know, this we're talking about dude who, you know, one of the topics in one of the titles of his stand-up was Millennial N-word. So we're going to go after Richard Pryor now?
And Eddie Murphy's not safe either.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy. You know, he drops the dreaded F word. And talk about them sitting on top of cop cars.
Yeah, pull over.
You're gonna go after that shit, but no, because he's a black dude, and you know he was an early black star. And Richard Pryor, you know, set the bar so high that it changed how people did stand-up comedy. You know, but you're not gonna go after them. But hey, you believe this, right? You believe about changing problematic shit. Well, then you have to. Oh wait, are we all gonna say that maybe context is fucking important? Oh, that's what I fucking thought. Variety, piece of shit.
Well, that thing I love about the left, they're all about inclusivity and bring people together. But they're the ones who want to label everything and put everything in its own box, which I don't get and I don't understand. You know, it's just a weird thing. It's like, you know, oh yeah, well, you know, we're going to unify people and, you know, down bigotry and things like that. But everybody's got to be labeled away so we know how to identify them in public. It's like, what the fuck do you want? What exactly do you want? Like, it doesn't make sense anymore. It's all blurred and it's all bullshit. I don't like it.
And you start eating your own.
Yeah, because like that's what they're doing, and it's bullshit. It just doesn't make sense anymore.
Well, it's funny. Somebody brought up Bill Cosby for as clean as Bill Cosby's humor was. He's the biggest monster of them all.
Okay, well here's okay.
Okay,
there's a movie called, and you guys might know this. So Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, which was I think the beginning of blaxploitation movies.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was done by Marvin Van Peebles. I think this is the guy because Mario is his son. Yeah, Marvin Van Peebles. Marvin Van Peebles needed money to complete the movie, which he got from Bill Cosby.
Oh.
Okay. Now, I understand Bill Cosby's who he is. I get it, but he helped start blaxploitation movies by doing that. So what do you do?
That's interesting. The thing is, I don't think you need to take away any of Bill Cosby's contributions. I just find it funny that the clean, acceptable humor, the guy that pushed, you know, we brought up Eddie Murphy. He's the one telling Eddie Murphy, "Don't say this stuff. You got to do this. You got to do that." And all the stuff that, you know, Bill Cosby's going against Eddie Murphy for. Bill Cosby's doing way darker shit. You know, Eddie Murphy may make jokes about Rocky and these people and that people, and they're a joke. And he walks off stage, and you know what? The women he's with want to be with him. He doesn't need to drug anybody because he's a big star of the decade. I'm saying, like, I find that kind of interesting, that parallel where the people that might be socially acceptable because they are nice and clean and give up the right image are actually the biggest pieces of shit. So it just bounces off what you're saying about, you know, the people that want the inclusivity and all this stuff on one side of the argument realistically is just the thing they're fighting.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, the whole thing with you know Cosby helping that movie get made, it's like that started a whole revolution in media and in entertainment in Hollywood. And I once again, you know, call it because it's a piece of shit, but you know, he helped that movie get to where it is and start a whole thing. So it's kind of like, it's you know, where does it stop?
Well, I think, and eventually we're gonna, you know, that's gonna be a whole book on people who did fucked up shit, but then, you know, fucking, you know, we wouldn't have Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man if it wasn't for Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
You know how, you know,
cancel the MCU.
You know, exactly. Like, we don't have I Love You 3000 if Robert Downey Jr. doesn't pay for his fucking insurance. You know, Robert Downey Jr., the dude was a drug addict for a long time. Could have killed someone drunk driving and driving high. But do you retroactively punish him for that shit?
In 2020, yes.
Yeah. Well, but you know, obviously, but that's a separate conversation. But even going back to Jeff's point, like this, which in general you shouldn't hold celebrities to to a superhuman standard any fucking way. But I mean, and that's on both fucking sides. You know, obviously, you know, if anything that we're learning is people on the far left could be just as big assholes as the dudes across the aisle. But, you know, it's something to be said when you have someone who's so fucking vocal about something, and lo and behold, they're doing the same shit. Bill Cosby is that should be the greatest example, because everyone loves to jump on, which they should. You know, people with ultra conservative views, you know, you can have a conversation about it, you know, but oh, look at, you know, this pastor is doing this, and look at the church, da 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 da. But here you are, Bill Cosby, dude changed television comedy of all time, you know, and the dude is fucking drugging people and sexually assaulting them. You know, but he's dumping on Eddie Murphy, and the dude that played the son on the Cosby Show, talking about, you know, him going back and retroactively shitting on when he did that Ed and Eddie show, and how, you know, we shouldn't have cursing and all this shit in TV, but oh well, it's fucking Bill Cosby. He Bill Cosby shit.
Well, do you mean Malcolm Jamal Warner when the show Malcolm and Eddie was on with
Yes.
Eddie Griffin?
Yeah,
because that show was awesome.
It was awesome, and he goes back and he's shitting. Well, I don't like how it depicted, you know, black men and, you know, single black men, da 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 da. You know, when he kept calling Bill Cosby Dr. Cosby and shit. And sure enough, you know, holding this dude up like he's fucking living in the clouds. Oh well, he has a really nasty habit of drugging women and sexually assaulting them, and he put that in one of his fucking comedy specials. You know, we're living it with fucking David Starr. Dude getting on Twitter and tweeting at Trump, this, that, and the other. Oh, fuck you. You know, this is why I'm voting for Biden. Oh, look, he has a really bad habit of mentally abusing and, worst case scenario, sexually assaulting every fucking girlfriend he's ever had. You know, if anyone's super vocal about something, you know, that should be a fucking sign. Like, stop following these goddamn people. Especially, fucking all racism is bad in fucking movies. It's like, that should be a red flag right there. You know, what's their real agenda? It doesn't matter what they believe politically. Anyone who does that shit, you know, fucking take a step back. Like, why are they really saying this? Why are they so adamant about, especially entertainment? Why are they so adamant about trying to control people of how they use their art and da 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 da? You know, fuck. You know, that should be the first thing you look at. You know, stop fucking listening to everything these fucking people say. If something sucks, it sucks. It works itself out. But fucking, oh my god, we need to go back and, you know, oh my god, this movie that was made in the 30s, holy shit, it says some problematic shit. Like, why are you so against it? Someone go through this motherfucker's tweets. What the fuck has he said? what the fuck has he made? You know, fucking Harvey Weinstein. Oh, you know, women are great. And oh, holy shit. Well, the dude is a crazy sexual predator. You know, I'm not saying everyone that's vocal about this type of shit has some skeletons in their closet, but damn, people, like, how many times? What's it gonna take for somebody to be like, you know, maybe we shouldn't listen to these motherfuckers who get so upset about stuff? Like, damn.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, every week it just gets dumber and dumber, and things get worse and worse. And it's not hyperbolic to say, what next? Surprise me. I bet you next week we have something really stupid happen. Then shit'll slow down for the 4th of July, and after everybody comes back, something else is going to ramp up. Something else is going to happen. So
it's just so fucking dumb. You know, and like I said, the thing that pisses me off again, you get so distracted with this little shit, you don't pay attention to the shit you need to be paying attention to. You know, and I thought that we got past this shit with Anita Sarkeesian getting all upset about stuff. Come to find out, the bitch was stealing fucking money on GoFundMe and stuff.
And you know
for a documentary that never happened.
And you know what's terrible too? In my Naughty Dog video coming out tomorrow, I talk about her because her think group, or whatever you want to call it, was going after a woman writer because she didn't agree with their brand of feminism. So come back tomorrow to hear about that. But that's, you know, these people, the virtue signalers, the biggest ones, are the absolute worst, because they're just like, they think that their version of altruism will undo every terrible thing they do, and they're so idealistically driven that they don't care who gets hurt in the wake of their bullshit. You know, there are a lot of victims in all of this stuff too. So this change that this writer from Variety or all the other things that we're trying to do, or they're trying to do, excuse me, not us, that they're trying to do out in society.
With these motherfuckers.
Well, I mean, even then, the guy who wrote the article is the main guy who runs Variety, who's an old white dude who's very, very rich.
Yeah.
And thinks he knows some shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Like what you're talking about racist stuff and the KKK and all those other movies. Like, oh, there's be more black people in these movies. Like, motherfucker, how many black writers do you have at Variety? How many?
Yeah.
Really?
You know,
How
Nick,
many?
that makes me think of a time where I saw this actress. She wore this scarf to the Oscars with the names of all these female directors on there as a tribute because none of them got nominated. And turns out she didn't ever hired any female directors for her production company.
You don't say.
Yeah, I just that makes me think of that. Also, I was going to point out that,
what was her name? What was her name?
Oh fuck! Natalia. Oh, Natalie
Shmi
Portman.
Skywalker.
Yeah, Natalie Skywalker.
Yeah, I fucking every time I love. Oh, there you go. Thank you.
I like that her scarf actually just says "Wang" on it. So,
but like, it's also like the smallest fucking text ever. You didn't. It wasn't anything big or whatever. Like, that's your protest, you dumb bitch from fucking Harvard.
Yeah.
Is
Figured I'd help you out with that one.
Thank you.
You hadn't brought it up this week, so I'm like, I'll just serve it to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Is this what a Harvard education gets you? You stitch tiny text into your fucking $2,000 outfit.
$2,000. It's more like a $6,000 outfit, Nick.
Probably $6,000 or whatever, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. It's more more money than I have right now. So like it's I mean, and then that's your silent protest. Like, go fuck yourself.
I do. Yeah. I agree with Kokoshi on that one. I did love how that backfired too. That was so goddamn funny. Which goes to show you again, like that thought never entered her mind. That was what was so goddamn funny about that. Was when Twitter's like, oh, by the way, guys, she hasn't hired anyone, and she didn't say shit right away. And then, we'll go back and make sure. But it's like you literally paid someone to make an expensive. Like, imagine being so tone deaf that you're protesting something that you do every day. Yeah. At the very least, you think you'd be like, you know what? Maybe there's more to it than just outright jumping on someone for doing something, subconscious biases and all that are real things that people that have gotten education have said are real things. It doesn't explain it. There's context. But no, she didn't come to that conclusion. She goes, oh yeah, I'm just going to wear this because, more women should be nominated. Not one person or this Harvard educated one motherfucker said, have I hired a woman? No? No one will notice. Like she thinks
I'm a champion of the SJWs. They're not going to come after me.
God, she seems
crazy.
like she's probably such a Karen too. Like if the white guy at Starbucks doesn't get her order right immediately or give it to her in like 3 minutes, she probably thinks like he's a sexist or whatever.
He's part of the patriarchy.
He's part of the patriarchy. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
If someone calls her Natalie, she goes, Mrs. Portman. She strikes me as that person. She corrects everyone. It's Mrs. Portman.
Yeah, she does strike me as that one. She must be like the most I smell my own farts because I'm important into Hollywood kind of bullshit
like,
person.
Imagine having a conversation with someone like that. Like, it's just so unaware of the fact that do you ever remember having a conversation with a female director? No, you don't. But you put this you pulled this stunt. Like, God, that's so fucking hilarious.
I've worked with more female directors than she's hired.
Yeah, dude, it's so goddamn funny to me.
Oh man!
But again, she's preaching it. She's protesting, preaching it. Why is she? Oh yeah, because she knows she never fucking hired any of them. What? Holy shit! Surprise, surprise, Portman.
So let's hear what some of the audience is saying. I gotta say the chat has been blowing up tonight, so it's been interesting.
I know. I've been seeing it roll through. Just keep rolling up. So
yeah, it's been a crazy night. So folks, I want to thank everyone for joining us for this discussion. It's been a lot of fun, and stick around because at the end of this show, we are going to show us morphed into ladies from the Face app. So up next, we have our friend 007 Cloud who says, "You guys nice and distracted yet by these petty social issues while other countries are ready to make the moves to invade? Do you think we're gonna get invaded, guys?"
Take off the tinfoil hat, dude. Just it's okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the World War III was that hashtag was trending the other day on Twitter, and I was looking at why, and I was like, oh, India and China getting into it. Awesome. That's great. 2 nuclear powers. Exactly what we need.
Well, I think there's a lot more left in 2020. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be some kind of invasion, but there's something else bad's going to happen. Something stupid's going to happen, and it's just going to basically set us back a little bit.
Just please no nuke war. That's all I ask for.
No, I don't want any of this dumb crap to happen. I want everything to just go back to. It'd be nice if we could have that moment where we kind of Thanos snap it. It's 2019 again or 2018. Things seem to be better in 2018, right?
Yeah.
So we also have our friend Space Monkey 0899 who says Sony is at peak hypocrisy. Trans sex scene okay, anime boob physics. Call your congressman. That is a hypocrisy.
I'm offended by his name.
What's
He's
Space
probably
Monkey
eating Cocoa
0899?
Krispies. Yeah, he's probably eating Cocoa Krispies while he's sending that too.
Yeah, in orbit.
Cancel that man.
I'll have to look into that though, Space Monkey. I know they just keep going on about like wanting to censor Eastern games because they might the representation of the female form. So what they actually did, the Naughty Dog people the way they make their game is they basically cast an actor to act in your video game now, and they reduced the woman's boob size because they didn't want to be offensive. So.
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm sure she loved that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, even then, what is it? I got Jedi Fallen Order recently because it was on a discount, and lo and behold, it's a white guy being a Jedi.
Exactly.
Go figure.
Well, the new Star Wars game is full of nothing but the females are the heroes and the bad guys are the Imperials.
Are dudes? They're just dudes.
Yeah, they're dudes. I'm watching the trailer right now. They do.
Jesus Christ.
Oh wow, here we go. This is what this game's focused on. They can't give us a Star Wars game based on the real characters. So they're like, oh, we're gonna have this new gameplay trailer. So they make up. You have a black lady as a female rebel, or as a rebel pilot, or excuse me, the Imperial pilot, and this random Asian dude as wow, his name is Raul Haimoon.
Wow.
Why can't I play as Luke Skywalker?
Oh my god. Yeah, I agree. Why not bring back the old characters, make a game with them, and do some fun shit? I don't know, man.
Yeah, so I don't really trust EA at all. But anyway, moving on. We also have 007 Cloud says Harry says a tidal wave of racial slurs, including Mexican racial slurs. It was hilarious in regards to Dirty Harry. All the Clint Eastwood movies do.
Yeah, that's how they are.
Because it's what is it in Gran Torino? But it also has that's another movie they'll probably try to cancel.
Oh fuck, you're right. God damn it.
But doesn't he take in the Filipino kid or whatever, and he saves him from the gang by
white saviors?
white saviors.
Korean.
White saviors.
Yeah, a Korean girl,
Yep.
and she gets assaulted, and he just fucking shoots all the fucking gangsters.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a pretty baller ending. And he goes
Can't
out.
have it though, Jeff. Says some racist things, and then the white guy has to be the one to save the minority. No, we can't have that. It's 2020. It should be the other way around.
The crazy part is,
Except for all the white people are supposed to get shot.
dude, Gran Torino had a budget of $33 million. It pulled in $270 million. There's a 12-year-old film. People were okay with. They like Clint Eastwood and his depiction in his films and the type of stuff he does. So I'm just waiting because when is it going to become well, maybe Black Panther wasn't progressive enough, so we're going to have to recast because Chadwick Boseman wasn't actually Wakandan. That's where we're going to go.
My god. Oh my god.
Listen, he's a brother from North Carolina. Yeah. Damn it, he's close enough.
Yeah, Wakanda by way of North Carolina.
God.
Went to the University of Wakanda. He weighs in at 205 pounds.
It's funny because I remember everybody getting really mad that he got real skinny all of a sudden, and then I watched the trailer for The Blood 5 or whatever, and I was like, oh, I get it now.
Our friend RBM Entertainment says, watch them come after the Native American lady on the dollar coin. As a red person myself, I will not be happy and always hate the SJWs forever.
Really
I'm sure you hate. I'm sure you hate more than the SJWs, buddy. But I get it.
Great news! My video got reinstated. Hooray! It turns out that I can't get copy struck for using my own material. Thanks, YouTube.
I love this platform.
I'm so glad.
But it was at the Sacagawea dollar, right? Is what is that who's on the coin, Jesse? Sacagawea on the dollar coin. Weren't they trying to take Jackson off the 20 a couple years ago?
Yeah, because he's racist.
Yeah.
what? And they were going to replace it with Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I don't even care about that one because, like, yeah, he was kind of racist.
It doesn't matter though. We said it with the exception of Ben Franklin. It's the president's on the money. You want to replace it? Replace it with a president.
That's the thing, with the exception of Ben Franklin, the most notorious face on the bills who gets.
And Alexander Hamilton, he wasn't a
I
president.
don't really care about.
That's true.
I actually care because what other country? We have the Queen on the British money, and she used to be on the Canadian dollar, right? The British Queen.
She's on the 20.
Yeah, so it's you always just put that. If you have to change Andrew Jackson, you could put any other president. You put Richard Nixon on the $20 bill.
That's what we want to do there, buddy.
Nixon was Jackson was a racist.
But you could also use
Nixon was a piece of shit.
You could say founding fathers are on some of the bills.
Show founding fathers. So that's if you want to say, okay, one of our bills will be like a founding mother, of the black, whatever. I don't hate that. Now, if you want to change every single bill,
I hate it.
Or you want to start going through making sure every bill is a different thing, that's why you can't do it though. Is where does it stop? If it was just the one thing, they were going to do that. I thought they were going to go ahead and do that with Harriet Tubman. And you're going to do that one thing. If we all had the common,
they're going to do it in like 2022 or something.
That doesn't bother me, but we don't. It's not going to stop.
That's why I told you. You give an inch, they take a mile. I'm not for it.
Can we all agree that the penny's useless and get rid of it?
That's fine. We can rehaul the way our currency is.
No, what am I going to throw at passerbys?
Nickels, they're heavier.
That's a problem. You charge for assault now.
Get a good whip action. Well, if we need to replace Jackson because he's a racist, I've got the best solution here. We can put a black guy president on the money. We can get Dwayne Elizondo, Mountain Dew, Herbert Camacho, and put him on the 20.
He's only half, bruh. We need a full brother. We need a full brother.
From Wakanda.
That's right. From the University of Wakanda. Educated.
They were talking about getting rid of the penny the same time they deplanetized Pluto, and I'm just worried that they're going to get rid of all things that are small with P's. So I'm really concerned for the future of Asian men and Jewish men. So
Jesus.
That took a turn that I did not see coming.
That took a weird turn.
Easy. Goddamn.
Those slippery
stereotypical
precedents like you're talking about. Where does it end?
There we go.
That's president.
You jumped to Dick Lake though. I don't know. We weren't swimming over there though. That's a whole. That's a whole.
That are small. That are things that start with P that are small. They have to go. Pluto, pennies. What's next? The logical. I know you're concerned for your future, Dion. I understand that. Don't worry, it's not really going to happen.
And stop. Why you always got to make it about my dick? Damn, it's weird. Stop it. Fuck.
I haven't little dick shamed you in a long time. Come on, you got to give me one.
Still, but why we always don't come back here? It's already weird. Banging my best friend. Now you got to start talking about my dick. That's weird. Fucking Jesus. Come on now. And let's leave Dick Lake. Why you always got to take us to Dick Lake? Come on now. I don't want to swim there no more.
Well, to calm you down, I'll take you to Pound Town later. How's that? You want to go on a fucking trip? We took a hike to the mountains. We went to the Ralphs. We went to here. We'll go to Pound Town. That's our final
I don't know
trip.
what you're
it's a
complaining
staycation.
about. I love swimming in Dick Lake. I don't know what you're bitching about. Dick Lake is great. It's got the water's perfect. It's the right temperature. It feels great.
It's just like
taking such a weird turn. Such a weird turn.
Dick Lake. I love swimming in Dick Lake. Shit keeps hitting me in the eyes, but it's not a bad lake.
By the way, I wouldn't mind Terry Crews as president. He seems like a cool guy.
Idiocracy is definitely a documentary
Real?
at this point.
Yeah. So up next, we had our friend TLJ Screwjob says, it's not making fun of him for being mentally handicapped. When his mom goes on vacation, it's not a funny moment. It's sad in regards to Forrest Gump. That's a movie that's going to a lot of people love Forrest Gump. It's a lot of people's favorite film. That's one that you can't get away with trying to make those arguments for because people from all walks of life. Plus, you guys made all these excellent points about the film earlier when we read through the list. So this
talked about how it humanizes retarded people, not.
I said Forrest Gump's like an inspirational character because he clearly has issues.
He's overcoming his natural
and he's got his braces, and he goes on to be a fucking champion.
It should be an SJW heaven story because it's all about somebody overcoming.
Well, no, it can't be because Forrest Gump is white.
Oh, right. Also, it can't be because SJWs don't overcome anything. They just bitch about what they don't have.
Yo, man, fuck Jenny, bro. She took advantage of that young brother.
For the black Jenny.
Oh, my God.
I do love that most fans voted Jenny as like one of the most hated movie characters of all time. That was so goddamn funny.
Yeah, she was a bit
Even
of a
as
bitch.
kids, I was just remember being like, man, I don't like her. Fuck Jenny.
Delaware Sasquatch, that's a funny name. He says undercover brother and 2 white girls.
Yo,
So he's talking about movies, I guess, that they can't do. Undercover brother's hilarious.
it's so dumb. It's so good.
I love
Denise
it so
Richards,
much.
Just that's the only way that you can see Eddie Griffin pulling Denise Richards, and that's like part of the. Oh, I love that shit.
Oh man, that movie still holds up. It's still a lot of fun. And then what is it? White Girls, I guess, is the one you're talking about as well.
Yeah.
No, I feel like White Girls you could do White Girls Part 2. Everybody will let it go.
No, man, white girls. I'm
chicks.
okay with people shitting on
White chicks.
or
White chicks, yeah.
White
okay.
girls. Oh, that's my preference. White chicks is a movie. What was I saying? Like that one, I'm okay because that finally saw it. I was like, why people like this movie all that much? Like that's some Buffalo Bill shit. Like white chicks is weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Yo, man, hold my poodle with this weird ass prosthetic on my face. Like what?
Yeah, that was really odd. But I feel like if they made a part 2, everybody would let it go. It would happen. Like nothing would be said about it.
Plus, Marlon and Sean are like damn near 50 now. That'd be weird.
That's
as
true.
fuck.
They are.
We also have Makini 90 says warning label, likes, retweets, cancel culture. Aren't these things only the Sith know?
God damn it. Good for you.
Damn it, Dominic Mohanigan.
Good for you.
We also have our friend Martin Clamp Sabby who says, "Hi guys, love you all. What about Pretty Woman? Pretty Woman. It shows you can buy love for money."
Yeah, the hooker with the heart of gold story.
Yeah, well, so do all the Red Shoe Diary episodes. What's your point?
Yeah,
Well,
so does every rich person.
Well, remember, folks, she's no longer a prostitute. She's a sex worker. We have look at that movie is progressive.
Okay. Well, also that's a sex worker. Apparently, every female who takes a bikini picture on Instagram is a sex worker now. Who knew?
I mean,
Wow.
actually, you can get some nice hookers on Twitter these days.
That's true. You can.
I don't know about those things.
I mean, I didn't do it, brother, but it was a brother that I know. He was telling me about this.
See, Dion, out here, you don't need to go to Twitter to get your hookers. You walk into the grocery store, you run into Amber Rose. So there you go.
Hashtag Kanye's anal playlist.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Can Alexa play hashtag Kanye's anal playlist?
Jeff, you need to go to a Vietnamese coffee shop out there.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Heavy cream, brother.
No, don't ask for the heavy cream.
No heavy cream. No heavy cream.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No.
What the hell is even happening?
I don't know.
What am I doing with my life?
You're talking to your 3 best friends on a podcast. God damn it.
That's true. The Major Spike 9000 says, I think The Last of Us 2 counts as a hate crime, not towards race or creed in particular, just the entirety of humanity.
God, I hope that game undersells so fucking bad.
See.
I really do.
We
I really
gonna
do.
see. I mean, there are very few instances of a company handling something poorly, and Naughty Dog found a way.
Well, I'll put it like this. My official stance is the game's going to make money. It's going to sell very well tomorrow, but I don't think it'll do as well as the first game. And most people will say, well, it comes at the end of the life cycle. Here's the thing. A lot of other places that aren't sucking off the political storytelling of this game is actually the people that are actually looking at the gameplay say it doesn't evolve as a game. It looks nice, but the gameplay is lacking. So everybody wants to go on about the politics, and you're going to get the people that, oh, I'm going to support this game because I support this belief. But the game itself is, from reviews, we're talking official reviews that I've dug up from IGN in different parts of the world. They say the game ain't that great. It's good, but it's not a masterpiece. Everyone in the West is so obsessed with it being a masterpiece because it scratches the right political itch. It pushes all the right buttons, and that is why the game will initially do well. And they'll put out another version with Game of the Year awards and all the 10 out of 10s like they do Batman Arkham City, and people get sucked in because of that shit. So Last of Us 2 will initially be a success, but that game's legacy will not be kind to that game, and people will look back. Expect a special edition, folks, that wipes out some of this great stuff down the road when society changes again and they're not progressive enough, or they're too progressive, or whatever happens. The Last of Us 2 will just be like a Captain Marvel, where it is a time capsule of the period that it was produced in, and it had a pushback from society, and there are extenuating circumstances why it initially was successful, but at the end of the day will be looked back on as an ultimate failure. So that's my statement on it. Let's see. We got the Gray Ghost, who says someone should grab a so-called problematic, yes, F that word, roles all these virtue signaling celebs played, and publish an article like this. I think that's a good idea, Gray Ghost.
I mean, they'll eventually do it themselves. They like to attack their own. It's like wokeness is the new religion, and it's fractured into a bunch of different like groups. It's kind of like in The Life of Brian, when he's running away, and they're all trying to follow him as the Messiah, and they all pick up on different things from him, and like immediately fracture into like 4 different groups. That's what it's going to be. They're each one has their own little sect of wokeness, and they're more virtuous than the others. And to prove how much more virtuous they are than the other woke groups, they're going to outwoke them and attack them for their lack of amazing wokeness that they have.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna happen.
Fuck them.
Yes,
That's my
Fuck them all.
statement. Fuck them. So we also have our friend TLJ Screwjob that says, Jeff, look up Sky Cinema's Aliens and read the description. I want to see the panel's reaction. We definitely did that. The Gray Ghost also says, Muppet Babies fat-shamed Miss Piggy. Scooby-Doo wasn't diverse enough. Let's have an honest discussion about DuckTales and Scrooge. McDuck's privilege. The finish line is nowhere in sight.
Don't. Just
Well,
don't.
no, look
I
at
mean,
the Gray Ghost.
if you believe it, you believe it all the time. So you gotta look at that shit too.
Because
You know,
the
it's not
funny part
exempt.
is, here's the question for a lot of these people that want to write these problematic articles. Let's just flip it on them for a second. What about your favorite shit? Are you going to denounce your favorite shit because you politically are opposed to a line of dialogue in a film? Or are you going to like the shit all the time? You're going to be a hypocrite. We know the answer. And it's rhetorical.
Exactly.
But the Gray Ghost, I took a picture of that because I'm going to turn tonight's topic into a video for next week because I think this is important and relevant and interesting because we're watching popular culture. This culture war is getting ugly. Like Indiana Jones, it's getting nasty. So,
Yeah, and I mean, I spent like $300 or $400 on physical media from Shout Factory this week because I'm just like, I don't know what's going to get changed or what's going to happen, but I'm buying this shit right now. Because I don't want shit to get censored or get reworked or redone, and they change some shit because all of a sudden they're not happy about it. They put warning labels on shit. Like, I don't want it anymore. I'm just buying a lot of stuff up that I like that they might look at as problematic and change later. And I'm done with it, man. I want my physical media, and I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
Delaware Sasquatch says, I want the Toy Story franchise erased. A white sheriff in charge, no black Barbies, no LGBTQ toys. I was an animated Andy Griffith.
If you want a black sheriff, call Fred Williamson or, Blazing Saddles.
I want to watch
The sheriff is near.
What is it? His name was Dion Little? Was that his name?
Cleavon Little.
Cleavon Little.
Yo, man, you ain't gotta put me in everything. I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I legitimately thought his name was Dion Little. I really did. I'm sorry.
I appreciate the shit out of it, man. But they all can't be Dion's. You know what I mean? There's only one of me, baby. There's only one Dion.
Thank God.
Hey.
All right. Delaware Sasquatch has a serious question. Your choice: limited nuclear exchange or EMP?
God damn it.
EMP. I want to go back to the old west. I want to see.
I'll take.
shot from the
Fuck it.
shoulders.
I'll take EMP as well. That's fine.
Yeah. I've got experience with it. I fought through Modern Warfare 2 when the EMP went off. I like my chances.
Yeah, I'll take.
The White House. God damn it.
That's right.
Yeah,
Got to get to Whiskey Hotel. Keith David was there.
Yeah, EMP's fine. At least there's not nuclear fallout and like you can't go to certain areas and shit. So
basically, we're gonna live through GoldenEye if Trevelyan won.
Yes,
Fair enough.
Plus, the way it's looking, I don't want all my Indian honeys and my Chinese honeys getting wiped out. I can't have that shit.
Deion Green, a man of the people.
You're knocking out a part of my market here. So let's EMP.
Up next is our friend Screw Job, who says, next the SJWs will go after in the heat of the night, or guess who's coming to dinner. For some reason, they'll find one.
Oh my god.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They're already going after
really
the first black actress nominated for an Oscar.
Oh my god,
they'll find something. The scene in not that I think it's Mr. Tibbs when he makes his kid smoke and drink to prove a point. Like, oh fuck, Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, Sidney Poitier, like that man. Really, you're gonna go after him? Oh, how? You can't feel good about that. You can never feel good about that. I'm sorry, it's Sidney fucking Poitier. How? He's done so much good shit.
Yeah, they'll find a way.
I never realized that Sidney Poitier was the Bahamian ambassador to Japan for 10 years.
Who was? Who was?
Yeah, he was. Sidney Poitier.
Holy shit. After I slap the sheriff in the mouth, I'm going to go be an ambassador to Japan. I'll be right back.
And it's funny, too. If they start going after him and his movies and stuff, it's going to be like that Rusty Cundiff thing. Because, Sidney Poitier's got a white wife. He's been married to her since 1976. And they have children together. So, I mean, this is getting stupid because a guy like him who actually did achieve a lot, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is one of those types of important films that you should look at and go, oh shit, it was really bad in the 60s. Bringing a black guy to dinner was a big deal 50 years ago. Now it's like, okay, who gives a shit? It's just a guy. So that's the whole point that they fought for back in the day has been achieved. And like somebody said at the beginning of the stream, we don't have an external enemy, so we're bored. We make our own enemies. We become our own enemies. You're my enemy now, strange person out there, because of X, Y, and Z belief system. That's how dumb all of this shit is.
Man, like, fuck, really? Sidney Poitier, like...
He's saying they may go after him, Nick. No one's doing it yet.
I'm sorry. I'm
preemptively
just pissed off that they even...
It's out in the ether now. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just pissed off now that it's out in the ether. I'm just like, really? God damn it. They're probably
Raising in the sun. What was he going to do with them nuns, brother? That was my question.
He's going to build him a church.
Yeah,
like if you look, he's gotten... If you look at his honors and awards, he's gotten them all the way back since 1958 from the British Academy Film Award, Best Actor in Leading Role of the Defiant Ones. He has 2 awards for that. Like, how?
Don't take it yet, man. You acting like Sidney Poitier got shot last night. Like, cool it.
Yeah. You're already having an in memoriam for him.
They're going to do it. They're going to do it. God damn it. They're going to do it. You know what's going to happen.
It's going to be Nick for just 2 hours. Sidney Poitier, man. Sidney Poitier, goddamn. He won 20 awards in 1970 alone. What the fuck, Sidney Poitier, dog?
What did he do to anybody? What did he do to anybody?
No, Sidney Poitier.
What did he do to anybody?
You see when he slapped that white dude? Come on, Sidney Poitier. Nick, calm down, man. Get a hold of yourself.
It's gonna be all right, dude.
All right, man. All right.
Anyway, though, well, he's safe for now. Let's calm down, okay?
I'm right.
Let's get that hashtag trending, folks. Save Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
Well, wait until tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
We're gonna have a preemptive strike on the canceling of Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, we have to save him. He's important. John Doe has an important question. Should we start a Heinlein-esque republic on Mars? Yes or no?
Get your ass to Mars.
I mean, Elon Musk wants us to get there.
Wait,
watch
each other.
Is that what that means?
That's what. Well, I mean, Heinlein had a lot of ideals, but one of his things, he was big into like polyamory and free love and all that stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a hippie.
Yeah.
He definitely was.
So space hippie. Okay.
Fuck hippies.
I don't know. If you want to watch some weird some cool colonization stuff about Mars and that whole thing, watch The Expanse. It's a really good show.
I want to watch that show. I want to get into some good sci-fi because I want our fourth comic to be a sci-fi book. So
it's one of those things where in the middle of Star Wars being complete and utter shit, I found that show and I've just been binge watching it like 4 and 5 times now. I've even read the comics of it, and I know a lot about it. I even went back and read the first 3 books of the series that it's based on. Like, I love that show. I really do. It's wonderful. I highly recommend it. And also, you know what? It's really diverse, so nobody can shit on it.
There we go. And plus, I mean, you're giving it your endorsement. I know a couple other big channels in the Fandom Menace like us are giving the endorsement. So yeah, check out The Expanse. I know a lot of people recommend it. I want to watch it. It's on Amazon, correct?
Yeah, all 4 seasons are on Amazon. I think they're going to release the 5th one here soon. They got done shooting it, so it's going to be released whenever they feel the need to. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just really love it. I think it's one of those things that, like, if you think about what we're going to be like in the next 200 or 300 years, that's exactly what it's going to be. That's their depiction of that is exactly what it's going to be, and I really do like that.
We'll all be dead from the EMP blast that Dion had. Thanks, Dion. You killed society.
Your heart's not that electric.
Hey, my pacemaker ain't gonna make it, bro. Right? You really want all of a sudden that shit to go off, and all of a sudden they're like, so anyway, guys,
Oh, shit. Damn it, Jeff did have a pacemaker. Thought he was joking about that the whole time.
It was my best friend who killed me. It was Dion. There you go.
I did not kill my best friend. I don't care.
Darth Fatass. All right, he's back. He says Star Wars Squadron has Ewok bobbleheads and cockpits. Wonder if Funko. Nope. Darth Fatass. I watched the trailer for the game. Like, there's like a longer 5-minute trailer. Again, the thing that's not selling me is not about the diverse nature of the rebels or any of this shit. I don't care about that stuff. I just find it interesting how hypocritical, or how Star Wars has gone to the extreme and none of it's actually been any good. That's the problem I have. But my issue is I love Star Wars space fighter games. The fact that it's all first person and you don't get to see your ship turns me off, because I've had Star Wars fighter games. I never play in the cockpit unless I'm doing a specific part where you have to use the targeting system. I absolutely hate the idea of a first-person X-Wing fighter game because it takes away so much fun, the intense nature. Plus, it's like, never mind, I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm not interested because of that. And it's a budget game from EA. I don't trust it. So we'll find out in the future what it's like. We also, up next, we had our friend Miguel Olmo, who says, these losers are destroying our culture and our modern mythology, and most likely destroying monuments to fallen American soldiers. That pissed me off, because didn't they deface a World War II memorial? Not like this move, but didn't somebody do it recently?
Yeah. One of the ones that fucking went out and pulled that shit.
Yeah, I think it was for actual black soldiers.
Okay, I guess it is this movement then. I thought it was a previous thing, but no, I always get pissed when...
Actually, that's what it was. It was they specifically defaced a World War II monument that I think was specifically for the Tuskegee Airmen, too.
Which is terrible.
No, it was a regiment in the Civil War. It was
the regiment of the Civil War one was the all-black soldiers.
Yeah, 54th Massachusetts.
What about like a World War II monument? Like, what does World War II represent that needs to be taken down a peg? Because I don't like to get overly... Because the thing is, like, a ton of people we know fought in World War II. My grandma and grandpa were in World War II. What did they fight that was so bad today? World War II, they call it, World War I's the Great War, right? Is what they call it. And then World War II, whatever.
Yes. World War I was supposed to be the war to end all wars.
It did not.
Look how well that worked out.
We're going to have a new one soon, but it's going to be online. That's the battlefield. But I don't like any people attacking the culture and society like that. It's short-sighted. It's stupid. And at the end of the day, their cause means absolutely nothing, because they're the thing they want to destroy. They are the bad guy. I think how you just defeat this SJW scourge, I'm using quotations ironically, you give them a fucking mirror. You show them that you are the hateful, divisive, angry people that you claim to want to take down a peg. You are everything that you claim to fight and hate. So it's like Anakin Skywalker, you are the thing you have sworn to fight against, whatever Obi-Wan says to him in episode 3. McKinney90 says it won't be long before they find a reason to go after radio. That would be sad.
They locked him in that shed.
Just because you can't see diversity.
Wait, isn't that based off a true story, Radio? Is that a real guy? Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, how Radio is a 2003 American semi-biographical sports film directed by Mike Tolan and inspired by the 1966 Sports Illustrated article Someone to Lean On by Gary Smith. So, I've never seen Radio. Does it depict everything well?
For the most part. I mean,
yeah, more or less.
Handicap and stuff, but Yeah,
I've
yeah,
about
it's
it before, so.
Yeah, I've never heard about radio being. I mean, I've heard people, especially in football, back in the day, they would make fun of some people like, "Man, you're like radio." I was like, "Oh, okay, I get the joke they're going for," because I hadn't seen the film, so I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But I don't. And here's the thing: there's a section on Amazon, true family inspirational sports films, Pride in Radio. So I mean, up until recently, these films weren't looked at under this terrible negative lens.
How dare they not put Invincible on there?
No, well, that's the bullshit story. Mark Wahlberg ain't saving shit.
I've also still never seen that movie.
That's the whole episode of It's Always Sunny that's based off of that. But I mean, I'm trying to think. Radio died Radio died back in
2 years
December.
ago? Or
No,
was it this
Yeah.
year?
15. He died December 15th.
Mhm.
And I don't know if the film Radio won any awards, but it just seemed like
No.
yeah. Let me say it wasn't one of those movies that people were dumping on. I never watched it, but I don't do a ton of these sports dramas.
I've seen it a time or two. I'd never found anything offensive in it.
That's because you're white, Kendo.
Well, listen to this. The complaints they've had is the story is heavy on syrupy, uplifting moments. And it's, people are complaining about that type of shit. But it's funny, while Cuba Gooding Jr. earned a Golden Raspberry nomination for Worst Actor, but he also got it. The movie got an NAACP Image Award for Best Actor in a Motion Picture. So I don't get how.
So the movie was too uplifting, and they didn't like that.
Yeah, it was
Is
too
that-
uplifting.
Apparently.
What the fuck? That is evidence right there that nobody can ever be fucking happy. Right
What
there.
the critics in 2003 were complaining about it was too syrupy, sweet, and saccharine.
God damn it.
God damn, my feel-good story is too feel-good.
Now, I'm going to read this one out of order, too, because McKinney90 just sent another one. He says, to add on to that, they'll go after The Blind Side as well.
I love that movie.
Yep.
Oh,
Light
Jesus
protectors.
Christ.
It is a shitty movie, though.
I was going to say, it's not a very good movie.
Again, that's another one of those films I've never seen because I, again, don't really like sports dramas, and it didn't interest me. Plus, you talk about like overly saccharine sweet. I saw the trailer. I was like, I know what kind of story this is, and I'm not interested, so I'm going to pass. And you know what? I've never gone out into the streets and said, oh, this film depicts the white savior problem and tried to cause a problem for it. I just stepped away and said, I'm not interested. I wish that's what these people would do. Instead of writing bullshit articles about why Dirty Harry needs to be wiped away from existence, just shut up and don't watch Dirty Harry.
It's also the thing with some movie like Blindside, which they're gonna do because they don't care about something. They come for that movie of the white savior bullshit. It's a true story. It's a real story. Michael Moore's a real NFL.
Well, hold context.
Of what?
So that movie is very problematic, right? Because one, it changes a lot of shit, and then two,
But Dion, so does Straight Outta Compton. They make Dr. Dre look like a hero when these guys.
also
and that's a legitimate problem. I agree that you shouldn't jump on the white savior bit, but making him look dumb. It's not a black white thing, but making him look dumb. The dude went to fucking college. That's the problem of the movie.
Like, I'm pretty sure he was. I don't know if he was involved in the production or whatever. But I'm pretty sure like he was okay with the movie and
He
the
wasn't.
and all that.
He wasn't.
He wasn't.
Michael Orr wasn't.
What was that?
No, yeah, I think when they talked about the movie, he was cool with the movie being made, but after it came out, he was like, "Yeah, nah, that's not my favorite movie."
I didn't ever hear that. I thought
Yeah,
it was people. I thought he was.
Plus, he goes to a damn good school, but the movie makes it look like he can barely fucking read and write, which was just never the case.
I had never heard of him until I saw or heard about this movie coming out.
That's fair. I didn't think the movie made him look dumb though. I think the whole point of it. I think it was maybe a little heavy-handed the way it did, but the whole point of it was like he was a smart kid who learned differently, and people wrote him off because he was this black kid in the hood and whatever. Who cares? And they took a tutor, even when he went to a good school. It took a tutor to help him figure out how to. That's really very separate from like the rest of the stuff. I mean, talking about like people with dyslexia, who have to. That's like
Right.
we're treated like they were dumb too until people realize
Right,
no.
but it helps that if you're talking about someone with dyslexia, that they actually have dyslexia. You don't just create that.
But it was what I took away from that was just that it was that it took someone taking an interest in him, to say okay, you just don't learn the way people learn in a classroom
And that's not a bad message. It's just when you add that to something that wasn't the case, that's when shit gets problematic. So, and again, I'm not saying that they should jump on it because of the white savior thing, but again, some movies do need to you need to put them under a microscope, but don't put it under the microscope that you want. Like if the conversation is how true to form it is, for sure, have that conversation. But if you're gonna jump on the blind side because of the white savior thing, then it's when you're getting.
To be fair,
weird.
The Wikipedia page features a section about the race controversy. It says the film's been criticized for presenting a white savior narrative, and then some author named Robin DiAngelo in her book White Fragility goes on about negative racial stereotypes and dumb shit like this. So, I mean, that's the conversation they're having about it at that point, a 9-year-old film.
Right. That's when it gets
weird.
weird.
Like, yes, we can have those, but then for me, though, when you look at, like, let's erase the movie or something like that, it's like erasing, even if the story's not true to life, is erasing Michael Orr's story completely better than
Right.
I mean, because there's a lot of there's the positive and the negative. Okay, there's some negative ways they portrayed him that wasn't always true to his life, and of course those are conversations that are important to have and important criticisms of the film. But is it better to have that story and celebrate his story, which is an incredible story, than it is to just not get rid of it over those things? It becomes this erasure. And that's one of these things. Like, it's the people, they talk all the time, black erasure, Asian erasure, female erasure, all this shit. That's what they're doing when they want to wipe out history. That's exactly what that is. It is erasing. I mean, like, what's the whole point? Like, these older movies, these older depictions. Part of that is celebrating the struggle that some people have had and looking at how far we've come. That's part of the positive part of it. And when you erase that, you erase the struggle. You erase the history. You erase the important things that make us culturally the people we are today.
Yeah.
Right.
Excellent point. It's pretty much you put a pin in it because there's nothing else to add to it. So thank you.
No pains in to do.
Let's see. Private Halo 117 says what the SJWs are doing is the same as the Chinese Culture Revolution, where they destroyed all SJWs. Or they destroyed all SJWs are basically like zombies. # cancel culture and Karen SJW culture. Now, a lot of this stuff, there's a lot of similarities, and a lot of times people overlook parallels because they think the thing is when people take a level-headed approach to making a parallel to some historical event, people say, oh, the tinfoil hat comes out. Oh, you're being crazy. Oh, you're being overly cautious. But it's like history repeats itself. If you don't learn from it, like they say, it repeats itself. So I don't think somebody making that parallel is overly crazy.
That's exactly what we're already seeing that with history repeating itself. Is the exact same structures and power dynamics and ways of looking at people a certain way for being different based on certain things. Is exactly the culture that people are trying to create now, but it's now white people are the enemy, we're the bad guys, and they're just doing the exact same things that created their previous culture of oppression and whatnot. They're trying to recreate those exact things and just scapegoat an entire race of people because apparently we're all evil.
Apparently. Also, Edmund Dodo says, classic Pareto 80-20 principle. This is the way Star Wars died. Disney thought they could bypass the hardcore 20% of fans and create the hype that drives the 80% of what's cool right now, normies. That's one of their biggest mistakes because it's the 20% that Disney wants to, push away. That's why the Star Wars property has existed since 1977 with a small break between 1985 and 1991. George Lucas. There isn't even an official break. Small merchandise, like some RPG books came out and stuff that I learned from Michael from Retro Blasting today. So the whole this hype movement with Disney was a big mistake because they didn't capture the hype. Star Wars is inherently an older property. Yes, you have kids and younger generations that enjoy the films. It would be stupid for me to say anything otherwise than that. But Star Wars is kind of a thing that is you're introduced to it by an older generation. Jesse, did your dad introduce you to Star Wars? I found Star Wars by myself because of a book. Dion, didn't your parents introduce you to Star Wars?
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, the funny thing about this podcast is anytime they try to lump sci-fi or any of this genre entertainment or any kind of entertainment in general, say, it's only for this type of person, our podcast spits in the face of that idea and tells you, no, people from every walk of life like this shit, and it's good the way it was. Dion, have you ever thought Luke Skywalker needs to be black to represent you? No, Luke Skywalker's great the way he is. So this idea of trying to make Star Wars, look, you're trying to cash in on brand names. Brand names have to be associated with something good. That is why Ghostbusters is desperately scrambling to wipe away the mistake that was the 2016 Ghostbusters film. That is why I read an article or review on a fucking Peter Venkman figure from Hasbro. They keep making Peter Venkman figures because they keep selling. You think you'll ever see a Patty Tolan or whatever her character name is? No, you will never see any of those Lady Ghostbusters come back unless it's a joke or unless they're to be killed off or written into some bullshit comic that's desperate to try to save the legacy. That is why Ghostbusters Afterlife is the movie that it's going to be, because brand names have to have good things behind them. You cannot say, well, like the reason why I don't watch Chris Stuckman anymore is because when he was talking about Tomorrowland on Movie Fights, he refused to criticize it. He goes, it's Brad Bird, it's Brad Bird, it's Brad Bird. Guess what? Brad Bird made a terrible movie. Okay? Not everything's The Incredibles or The Iron Giant. So sometimes people screw up. I love Beverly Hills Cop. It's one of my favorite movies. Martin Brest made Geely, one of the worst films of all time. So directors, actors, everybody can make a bad project. Hiding behind a name doesn't mean shit. You very rarely have a name. Okay, Jesse, who did The Godfather 3? Was that directed by Coppola as well?
Yeah, yep. Okay,
I was making sure.
Sure it was.
So, but that movie's considered shit. So even then, you can take something that is considered, high art, one of the greatest films of all time with The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2, and you can completely shit the bed, and it's the same person. So hiding behind any kind of name, be it a brand, a creator, not everyone's going to deliver 100% of the time. So I wish that companies would stop with this mentality of branding is more important than quality. Now, TLJ Screwjob has two of them. He says, speaking of Blazing Saddles, in the behind the scenes, the guy who played Lyle said he couldn't say how. Sorry, the guy who plays Lyle said he couldn't say how about the good old work song, and Cleavon Little took him aside and told him, if it was any other situation, we'd beat the shit out of you. But, we're just acting. So even Cleavon Little understood the context of Blazing Saddles and what it represented and what it was meant to be. And I think it's the movie we all talk about because of what it is, but I don't think any of that will happen until Mel Brooks dies, which is really sad. And I hope his son Max, instead of worrying about selling another book in Hollywood, will protect his dad's legacy, like all these other people that do. Their dads create this great prolific stuff, and they'll fight for it. Like the guy that did Lord of the Rings, his son, Christopher Tolkien, did all this stuff to preserve the legacy of Lord of the Rings. I think Max Brooks should do all this stuff to preserve his dad's legacy because Mel Brooks is one of the all-time greats. And the thing is, the dude is so aware of what's wrong with society, and he talks about it. But he's also an older guy. They kind of brush him aside as like, well, this is an archaic thing, and it doesn't matter anymore. So his movies have more to say. Look, that dude made the best Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi. He has gone and done some really great things in his career. The erasure of Mel Brooks would be the erasure of just quality. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say it like that.
Yeah. Well, and also, what was another movie that did that? I forgot what I was going to say. It's whatever. Don't mind me.
Okay. Never again will I. Folks will be looking for a replacement for Nick. You have to be roughly 6 feet tall, have black hair, and be one of our friends.
And be really upset about Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
Sidney Poitier, are you okay? Somebody check on him. Is he fine? Is he okay?
Jacob Kaiju has a nice point. He says, I think we should all call SJWs Ultra Karens.
Ooh.
They want to speak to your manager and get you fired.
Also, I think it's really funny how they very quickly lost the Karen battle. Remember how the second it blew up, they're like, it's racist, it's sexist, it's this, it's that. Yeah, they lost that battle because now like all of the mainstream media is just calling they're using it specifically. SJWs can't get mad because they're using it specifically for people that the SJWs would hate. Yeah. And that's so fuck you, we win. Karen's rule.
TLJ Screwjob, we read his. Private Halo says they've started going after the porn industry. Oh, Nick. The porn industry.
Immediately looked at me.
You're in the comic book, it talks about how you have made porn in the book. So come on now.
Well, geez, man. These, art imitating life, imitating art. Okay, I don't know. I've heard about that because I follow a lot of those celebrities on my Twitter.
Like this. You're my only friend that I would buy a Pornhub gift card for.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I really want one of those big ass Christmas sweaters I have because that'd be awesome to have one of those.
Is it literally a Christmas sweater with a big?
It is literally a Christmas sweater that says Pornhub across the front of it. It is hilarious.
We should get matching. We should get those and wear those in Las Vegas together.
Oh my god. I do have my Epstein sweater as well, which I'm very proud of. I'm very, very proud of. But yeah, I was hearing about that as well. And I mean, it's the porn industry. What do you expect? I mean, they've always been shady, and now they're just getting called out, which I mean, I think is a good thing. I mean, for what it is, and I mean, there seems to be a shift there as well, especially with a lot of the celebrities, a lot of the females going to OnlyFans, to other things as well that they can control themselves, as opposed to going to a company and not making as much money and stuff like that. So there is a paradigm shift. There's a shift as well, which I mean, I'm okay with. If it's for the good and they're doing it for the betterment of the whole industry, that's fine, man. But if they're just doing it to virtual signal and just to be assholes, then fuck them.
Yeah. So let me read the last super chat, and then it's time to show you guys what the WCBS crew would look like through the face app filter as ladies. So it's going to be world-class gender swapping in a second. Darian217 says, Dion will enter the world code 666, EMP shutting down the world, and will walk away like Snake Plissken and start a Fandom Menace section in the new world.
Boom. Shakalaka.
That sounds idyllic.
I was going to say, that sounds familiar. I know that movie.
Coolest part of Escape from LA. Don't do it, Snake.
The only decent part from that movie.
Well, I mean, he did lose his twin brother McCready in the Arctic, so
Poor old JM. He was my real brother. So now that we've reached the end of the show, I did tell you guys that if you stuck around, we would show you what we look like as ladies through the face app. So let us start. This is not going to be pretty. But we promise.
No, it's not.
No, definitely not.
It is not pretty. So first off,
I look like a fucking soccer
here's me. Yes, this is me. It makes me uncomfortable. People were going nuts. I showed this on the High Council, and somebody says I look like AOC, and I got called JOC by Kendo. So. But that's okay. The fun doesn't stop here. Up next, we have Kendo as a lady.
Oof.
You make a very convincing woman.
I disagree, but okay.
You make a very convincing 12-year-old girl. You and Anna could be friends. Oh wait, she's 9. You're too old.
Now the next one is the one that throws me off, because Dion has a real life twin sister.
Yes.
They're striking a resemblance. You can definitely tell they're related. But I thought when I ran Dion's face app through the filter, I would be like, or face through the face app filter, I'd be like, oh, it's just gonna look like a sister. No, Dion, when I run you through this app, this is you.
I look like a soccer mom.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it made you whiter.
The face app is racist.
The face app is racist. It's a black eraser. Black eraser.
It's so ridiculous. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well,
and then finally, Nick.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
It actually makes an adorable girl.
Oh god, that's hideous. That's fucking hideous.
Well,
but you do your Indian definitely becomes Native American Indian when you
Now, you want to talk about hideous. I actually ran, for some reason, when I learned you can morph people's faces together, I was so in love with this. So I found that if I morph Kendo with Jesse, you get this.
Ew.
I love the fucking hairline too. That's what makes it
Go ahead and get that off my screen, please.
Fine. Then let me show Kendo mixed with Dion.
I think that was my favorite. No, I like Dude Bro now.
And then
why we sell computer software for IBM or something.
You do, and you've never ever seen a girl ever.
And then finally, Kendo. This is my personal favorite. Dude Bro Kendo.
See, I actually like that one because it makes me look like John Cusack from Being John Malkovich.
Yeah.
First time I saw that, I was like, holy shit, I've been morphed into John Cusack from Being John Malkovich.
I feel like Kendo could totally rock that. He could make that work. He can make that work.
That's my vote for after you guys get action figures and you do your like other versions. Dude Bro Kendo. I want that to be the first alternate Kendo. Or just have a hairpiece that you can add on to the
like a magnetic attachment.
Yeah. So you can have Kendo and Dude Bro Kendo. Deluxe figure. 2 Kendos in one.
Yeah.
That sounds really gay.
I don't even know. Beth DeGoo thinks Kendo looks like a bank manager.
I mean, he looks like a bank manager from an early '90s movie.
Honestly, the way Kendo looks in this photo, he's a bank manager that is stealing funds to buy cocaine, which he's selling to, I don't know, the people from down the street. So, yeah. And you're going to get caught, and you're going to get shot at the beginning of the movie, but your best friend will avenge you.
That's good. At least that happens.
Bros, directed by Patty Jenkins.
Oh, she'll mess it up.
Hey, she directed Point Break.
Yeah, okay. She has a shot.
So, folks, we have reached the end of the World Class Bullshitters podcast, episode 223. Over on After Hours, we're going to talk about the Danny Masterson sexual assault allegation and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. If you want to hear that, World Class BS over on Patreon, you can find us. We got tons of content. But Nick, Kendo, Dion, is there anything you'd like to share before we go?
Nah, man.
I would. I want to share one thing, and I need Kendo's help with this.
Oh, Catherine Bigelow, my bad. That was who directed Point Break. I fucked that one up.
Wait, who did you say?
I said Patty Jenkins.
This movie on the screen is called Cherokee Creek.
Yes.
Kendo, do you remember this one?
I do.
Yeah, since people want to
Fun Bigfoot romp.
Oh yeah. Since people want to hate on Hollywood and fuck them whatever, rent a really awesome Bigfoot movie for 99 cents. That's what I'm saying.
Let me take a picture of that real quick. I'll rent it with Jesse for the hell of it and watch it.
Yeah, it's a wonderfully fun movie. It's such a oh man, it's so much fun. It's so great. There's so much cool shit in it, and actually, there's there are two women who get naked in it. So can't really knock that.
Hey, for $1, I'm there.
Yeah, you can rent it. You can rent it for 99 cents in HD on Amazon Prime, or you can buy it through Scream Team Releasing. You can get the Blu-ray for $20. So
there you go, folks. If you want a fun Bigfoot romp, it is the summer seasons. I think summer starts on the 21st officially.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you want to ring in summer with a fun Bigfoot film, there you go.
Yeah, support independent film. Help those guys out.
So, folks, we're gonna head on over to Patreon for After Hours. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. We'll be back later with more. Especially come back tomorrow for the Naughty Dog video, and next week we're gonna have a lot of other stuff. So until next time, folks, from all of us here at World Class Bullshitters, good night, thank you, but most importantly, always be excellent to each other.
.com.
Oh, Kendo's not even here. I'm like, where's the .com?